Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome into episode 4 of our novella, Midsummer Mysteries. I hope you are all doing super well today. I'm very glad to see you. Also, if you are watching this on YouTube, hey, how are you doing? It is nice to see you. I have noticed that some of you on YouTube have making comments, and I have sort of liked them, and I'm very excited. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Thank you for watching us live here as well. All the live views are much appreciated. My understanding is that some of you may also be listening to us on podcast, in which case, I should probably speak like this closer to the mic as if it were NPR. So those of you on the podcast, it's so good to hear you and see your voices, and I hope you're all doing well and have a nice cup of coffee. So,
sorry, no, just keep doing that. Just do that.
Do you have a mic on?
You have to charge just pull that mic. Just do that.
You have to charge.
You can't do this for free, Trooper.
I also have heard a rumor, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say the rumor, but some people in the future might be watching this through a watch party. Is that true?
That's very true. That's very true. So I was going to say this till the end of the show, but I'll say now. Very, very, very exciting news. Our resident table story mod, Kujio, put together a special surprise for us and showed it off today. I think it's still in the works of being transferred over because he showed us on his own domain, but you should be able to go to tavern.tablestory.tv, and there is a whole website there for you to be able to log in, have a chat, and watch our shows together, which the community has been asking for a while, and he just surprised us with it, and it's a beautiful gift, and I got emotional and cried, and it's very, very lovely. So go check it out. The only thing that he wanted me to make sure to note is that he has the site turned off at the moment while he's fixing on stuff, but when you are able to log in, don't do email, and don't forget your password, because right now we have no password recovery. That's it. Those are the only things that I needed to tell you. So yeah, and then enjoy the watch along. Thank you, Trooper.
Well, my pleasure. And the podcast is tablestory.com /tablestory.tv /Midsummer Mysteries, and you'll be able to find all sorts. But you should also just be able to search Midsummer Mysteries on your favorite podcasting app. Oh, what?
Yeah, like Apple or anything. You should just be able to search it.
How about pear? Peach?
You might. Pear or peach? Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I didn't know those were apps, okay?
they're not.
Pomegranate.
Pomegranate.
I love pomegranate. I really love pomegranate.
It's my favorite one.
It's the best one.
Let me see. And so everyone, thank you for being here. Feel free to subscribe, follow the channel. Yes? Is there anything else? Is there a Patreon? What do they need to know?
I mean, yes, but you can just start the show now if you want.
There's a Patreon. You should go find it. It's probably patreon.com /tablestory, I bet.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Thank you. Okay. And so I would like, as I'm wont to do, for episode 4 of Midsummer Mysteries, I would like to introduce each of our players. First off, if you don't know me, I'm Trooper SJP, your GM, also known as Gossipmeister. And well, quite a lot happened last week, and I thought I'd ask our players, what happened? Oh, excuse me, Bonsai, I'd love to ask you, who are you playing? Who are you playing? And, well, what happened last week? Also, just a small question. Does your character have a last will and testament? And if so, you know, what's in it? For no reason. I'm just wondering.
Well, hello, I am Bonsai and I play Otto here. Are we doing the intro? Like
Yes, please. Please do.
Oh, okay. Well, last week...
Yes.
It's just... Well, we figured out where Tilly actually belongs.
Oh.
And the Viscount married her mother.
Well, yes, well, that's what he said. I mean, have you seen the marriage certificate? Well,
And I think we might be related.
yes, indeed. What do you mean by that? Please, I mean, I'm here for the gossip. I want to know all of it. Was there illegitimate children?
No, I mean, I found out who my grandfather...
Oh, who's your grandfather?
Of course, of, royalty, apparently.
Oh. Well, I'm so sorry. I just thought you were, an industrialist, some sort of an investor of some sort. I didn't realize you were royalty. All this time I've been treating you like a commoner. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that you were royalty. Well, your Highness.
Well, I mean, couldn't you tell by my industrialness of how I risen in the world, despite not knowing my heritage, It's I feel like we have very exciting family reunion planned. For certain.
Could I ask you a question? I don't mean to pry. If your grandfather's royalty, from where? Sweden? Where is your grandfather royalty from?
Yeah, let's say Sweden.
Oh, well, all right then. Sweden.
There should be lots of Sweden nobility coming in very soon, I believe.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Well, now, Nell.
Yes.
Ms. Harrington, it's so lovely to see you again. Tell me, who are you? Who are you playing? Wait a minute. Bonsai? Otto got away with not answering my question. Last will and testament? Oh, you don't get away without a little bit of doom.
Well, I would say that I actually do have one, and that it goes to one of a friend that I consider family, and Nell.
Oh.
If I don't live, Nell will get everything.
Well, that's touching. Speaking of Nell, Murgles, who are you? Who are you playing? And tell me, what happened last week? And of course, last will and testament for no reason.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Easy answers. Yes, I'm Murgles, and I'm playing Nell Harrington for you today. And, yes, well, as for what happened last week, it's interesting things. Well, I'm fairly certain that we killed a man.
Oh.
So that was a good jovial time.
I'm sorry, did you say that you killed a man?
Well, I assisted, perhaps? Maybe.
Oh.
I mean, what is responsibility in this situation? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't really know. Anyway, last will and testament.
Ooh.
I think... Well, I don't have much. But I think whatever I do have would have to go to Otto. Otto is my only family as well. So,
Well, I don't know if you know this, but it turns out that Otto's royalty. I think he's some sort of Swedish nobility, which seems that perhaps you'll be going up in the world then.
When I die? Certainly hope so.
Well, no, I meant... Well, you know what I meant. By the way, I hope this killing someone was just really in one of your novels, because after all, you're just a novelist, yes?
It's true.
Yes.
A part-time novelist.
Now, if I remember correctly, there was... You were hanging about with Kelechi. Was that right?
I was, yes, and he gave me quite a fright.
Oh, well...
He's a very unnerving man.
Oh, Speaking of, Kelechi, played by Draconique, as you would say in French. Not actually how he pronounces it at all. Who are you? Who are you playing? And what happened last week? And, Last Will and Testament? Not that your character would ever die. Can die. Could die.
I mean, we'll stay dead, I suppose.
Will stay dead.
I'm Draconic, so Drac for short, and I'm playing Kelechi Obara. What happened last week? I mean... I think the most notable thing is that the poison I created with the help of Samantha did actually improve. This iteration was actually considerably better.
Oh.
Just under about 40% better than the previous one, so that was actually quite nice to learn. I jotted that down really quickly. Still confused about the whole marriage thing. Is Tilly actually married by the Viscount? I don't know. I don't really understand. I feel like she would have told me that.
Oh.
But I suppose not. Also, I'm not entirely sure if Miss Harrington is aware of where Morocco is.
Oh. I'd heard rumor that perhaps she was the some sort of lord or lady of Morocco, which apparently was in Lancashire, perhaps, or something like this.
It's very much not.
Oh, no.
But she insisted it was. That whole thing was very confusing to me, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think we met Tilly's mother, which was interesting. She didn't seem to be able to see Tilly.
Oh.
Tilly insisted that I tell her that she was wearing a dress, which was a lie.
Ooh.
But I went ahead and did that, I suppose.
I just didn't want her to know I was in my knickers, okay?
Why? I don't really understand the problem.
Because it's not ladylike, and I just wanted her to imagine me as a beautiful young lady.
Well, that's nice.
But you are you're a lady. Isn't that how you identify?
Yes, but I don't often act like one. Well, according to society's rules, anyway.
That doesn't make much sense to me. But
that's why I like you.
I went along with it.
As the gossip meister, I can confirm Tilly often acts in an unladylike manner in public and is causing quite the scandal, almost all the time.
Wait till you hear about my last will and testament. Sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
Oh no, of course. Well, for one, I found it very confusing, Mr. Gossip Meister, because if she identifies as a lady and then she acts as herself, doesn't that just mean that she's acting as a lady?
One of these days, I'll have to teach you all about propriety. For example, one should never see anyone's ankles. That's too scandalous. Ankles are just terribly scandalous. And with, if you use the wrong fork, that's also... There are quite a few scandalous things one should watch out for, But, Last Will and Testament, I know that Nephilim don't ever die. Well, if they do die, they come back. But, do you have a, Last Will and Testament?
Should I suppose, die at an inopportune time? Mm-hmm. I'd give everything to Samantha. There are many projects that I'm in the process of working on that I definitely would like to at least have the world see finished. It would be interesting. I feel like the level of progress it would bring to the world would be useful.
I do have...
So I think I'd leave everything to Samantha.
I do have some questions about what sort of experiments you're up to. Apparently poison's involved, and well, we'll have to talk to Miss Nell about that. But speaking of, the berry of pumpkins, which I'm not quite sure which berry pumpkins like best. Do they like raspberries? Nonetheless,
strawberries.
Yes. Strawberries.
Yes.
Strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
What? I like to say the word. tell me, who are you? Who are you playing? What happened to you last week? And Last Will and Testament?
Well, I'm PB, or Pumpkinberry, and I'm playing Tilly for you. What happened last week? I will try to bullet point. I met my mother. She couldn't see or speak to me, which was traumatizing. I had some memories of my childhood that I thought I had lost. I found out my name, and I have my book that I thought that I had dreamed, but in fact it is real and it is mine, and it's always been mine. And I have that back now.
Oh.
I would like to note that, while I wasn't there, I did hear that Kelechi was quite terrifying, and I just wanted to point that out.
I heard that his features changed a little bit, got a little bit more demonic for no particular reason, probably murder. But go on.
Well, celestial.
Celestial, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean...
Don't want you conflating the two.
But I mean demons, they're the sort of... But go on.
Okay, my last will and testament. Now, just to confirm, is this me knowing what I know now, or is this what I actually did? Okay, well, I'll tell you both.
Because I'm asking you right now, so you can tell me what you like.
Okay, well, my last will and testament before all of this was definitely, I had a moment where I thought, I should probably leave everything to my parents because they love and care for me. But also, in one last epic troll, I'll leave it all to my dog Brutus, and they'll have a very hard time trying to sort that out with the lawyers and the estate and all that. So that is definitely what was written down before all of this. And his full name, by the way, is Viscount Brutus III. So they'll have a hard time with that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I adore that, but you seem to imply that you might have changed your will.
Well, yeah, now I know my mother's around.
Yes, so what are you going to do with your will now?
I don't know, to be honest.
Oh.
Hopefully I don't die before I figure it out.
Let's hope. Yeah, so, dear watchers, last week, our heroes, they did a bit of distraction at a party, which I'm sure will not come back to haunt them at all, so they could sneak away. When they did, they discovered, following, some means, they discovered that there was the lady of the house in the attic who cannot leave, who has revealed herself to be Queen Mab, the Queen of the Fae, and that she has been trapped here in this house, unable to leave. She should not even be in this realm at all. She should be in the Borderlands, where the Fae live. But apparently, the king of the Fae, Oberon, did some sort of deal with this Viscount to trap her here. And unfortunately, her being here, well, it's not a good thing at all. It's not good for her because she's slowly being sapped of her energy, of her life energy, and dying, really. But more importantly, having the Queen of the Fae in our realm upsets the clockwork, and more disturbing things going to happen. It's one of the reasons why things are snowing in the middle of midsummer. But this sort of disruption of the natural order of things, well, it'll just get worse and worse and worse, won't it? Until, well, as she says, the whole world will be destroyed. We're looking at perhaps the entire clockwork falling apart to pieces. I don't quite know what to do about it. Well, she had a bit of an idea. Her idea was that, well, she herself cannot leave this place. She's stuck here. But there's a necklace, a large ruby, but that ruby contains her essence. Well, the Viscount has it, and our Nell saw that it was stuck within his walking stick. She said that that's her essence. If her essence can be brought, that necklace can be brought into the Borderlands, she can emerge from that necklace and make her way back where she belongs. Well, so that seems lovely, but the problem is that she's stuck here. There is a cage of some sort in the underwater ballroom, and that cage needs to be broken so that, well, that the necklace can work, the transfer can work. Now, the problem is, how do you get this thing in the Borderlands? Should have planned for that? Oh, I suppose I should say. Only somebody who's... well, only Nell can pick up that gem without being injured. So, well, that's good to know. But how do you get through? That's the bit of the trickiness. She figured, well, for Midsummer Night, when there's... Well, Otto has a bit of information about this, what he might share, that having this steam-powered bicycle race will just upset the King of the Fairies quite a bit going through the Thousand-Year Wood, disrupting their ancient rituals, and making him quite angry. Really angry. Probably angry enough to open up a portal between, between here and the Borderlands. Probably where our heroes will be. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm sure that it won't be dangerous if the King of the Fae opens a gate full of anger. But nonetheless, that will be the moment when you can slip in. Right? You can slip in with the gem and save the world. I'm sure there'll be no problems at all. Of course, you just have, well, tomorrow night's Midsummer Night, and, well, I don't know what you're going to do about that, but I imagine what we should do right now is, well, pull back the curtains. When we last left off, our heroes have been led out of what is a labyrinth that leads to the attic by a young girl that Nell has seen before, who may be in some way Tilly. Perhaps an echo, a memory? It's a little unclear. But this young girl leads you all down to the 3rd floor, and then she disappears, leaving all 4 of you on the 3rd floor of this estate. About, 7 or so? 7-ish? A little bit past 7 in the evening. And of course, downstairs you can hear the sounds of merriment as people are eating and talking, and everything seems lovely. What do you all do?
So the other line apparently went downstairs to the ballroom.
Oh, yes, I saw the door to that, actually.
Well,
Do you want to do that now?
Yeah. I mean, what else?
Should we not try to steal the gem first?
Oh, I guess so.
Well, I suppose I could go and do that on my own and then meet you there.
No. No. You're right. We should do that first.
Tilly, I know you like to be the center of attention, but I feel like maybe you should put on something a little different.
Oh, right.
Before we go back.
Where did I put? Oh, I left it. Oh, you know what? It's perfectly fine. They always do this. They go away and then change into another really, really fancy, expensive dress, and then it's, I've just changed because it's been an hour. It's after dinner now, and I need a new outfit. So, I'll look around. And which way was her room?
You know how to get yourself back to her official room, I imagine, because I imagine it's not official that she lives in this attic.
Right.
But you are on the floor where her official room is, and you can make your way there quite
I'd
easily.
like to sneakish my way there because I am in my bloomers.
You are. Mm-hmm. And do you all go with her?
Probably, yes.
I'd turn to Nell, like Miss Harrington. Am I allowed to come? When Buttercup came, you said I should turn around. Is this a situation where I must turn around as well?
Oh, I don't care. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we could, of course, us being gentlemen, we can converse outside the ladies' room while they are there, because they cannot be unchaperoned. That would be proper. Correct, yes.
Okay.
If I need a chaperone. But yes, okay, come on. You can just stand outside the door and keep guard. Or something.
Yes, I'll keep guard.
Oh, I suppose I should just mention that Mejbel, when looking at Otto, thought that Otto was his twin sister Buttercup. And that's weird. Those two, the other sides of the doors. And you make your way down to this grand bedroom, and the door is unlocked. And the two ladies, I imagine you slip in.
Yeah. I don't want to take too long, but unfortunately I have no idea probably what I'm doing. So I open the wardrobe and I may be a little bit overwhelmed by the options, and I make a very disgusted face. I have no idea what I'm doing here now.
That's all right. I'll help you.
A draw.
Yes.
From both of you.
Sure.
I would say the skill would be refinement. The aptitude would be, I would say, either reason or focus. Focus to notice, reason to to analyze.
Okay. Focus to notice something that might stand out.
Yep.
Okay,
And
I'll do that.
And then reason to analyze what is there.
Okay.
And if you would, whose is that?
That one is mine.
What is your? What are you going for?
Sorry, once again, focus and...
Well, it would be refinement, but you can either do focus for sort of noticing or refinement to analyze, whichever you prefer.
See, the issue is that I have 0 in refinement.
Oh, well.
So I think
take it
I
you're
will
not
go
that
with...
refined.
Well, novelists, do they need to be refined is my question.
I suppose not.
Focus. I shall go with focus.
So what is your total then?
2.
2. And Tilly, what about you?
Oh, I drew a -2, but my total is 5.
Oh.
So 3 is my
So-
result. And I went with the analyze.
with
To notice to see if
notice.
anything stands out. Yep.
Focus. So there's a large wardrobe with lots and lots of clothes. I don't know, I'm using my Gossip Meister voice right now. With lots and lots of clothes. Like there's just it's like a huge wardrobe full of all sorts of clothes. And lots of shoes, hats. It's a very well set up sort of wardrobe.
Can I say something before
Yes.
you continue, just to
Yes.
throw it out there? I don't know how this is possible, so it would probably be in a magical sense, but I'd like to keep my eyes out for something my mother would have actually picked out rather than something that was picked out for her. I don't know how I would know that. It doesn't make sense because I didn't grow up with her, but maybe if a magical nature, that is all.
The question you asked leads me to the answer to your draw, but I'm going to give Nell her draw first. Nell, you got a 2, which is just enough. What you notice mostly is the perfect outfit for Tilly. Like a good after-dinner outfit. You yourself did not grow up with means. I believe you told me that yourself.
No. I did not grow up with means, but I have done a pretty good job at figuring out what people with means like to look like.
Yes, you seem to know how to blend, it seems, in different environments, yes? So
I'm very
you-
blendable.
Yes, you are able to find, to identify the perfect outfit for Tilly that would not only match her well, but also be appropriate to the evening. Tilly, you're thinking to yourself, what would be an outfit that my mother might have worn that perhaps she would have chosen rather than would have been chosen for her? That's a very good question, and you drew quite well with a 5. That's very good. Guess what? None of
There's
these
nothing.
outfits.
Yep. Okay.
But not only that, none of them. I mean, I know you don't care about these things. These are not things that
No.
you don't care about these things. You don't care about fashion and what's going on about I mean, maybe you know these things, but I suppose you don't really seem to care so much.
All
about
I
them.
know is the ugliest thing is usually what's in fashion.
Yes, but I imagine somehow you must have picked up some things because
Oh, yeah.
I suppose you have to know the rules to break them.
Absolutely. And I have to know very specifically what is just out of fashion and oldly out of fashion because I wear that to piss people off. Sorry.
Yeah, you don't go retro or vintage. It has to be just old enough, but not too old.
Exactly.
If it's too old, it becomes cool again.
Yep.
Everything in this wardrobe is within the last 6 months. Nothing is older than 6 months. It seems to you, looking at them with your analysis and notices, and you're noticing this, not only is everything within the last 6 months, they seem to you to have been all done by probably the same tailor. Of course, all handmade, but it looks, this is of the current season. Everything seems to have been made recently. Most of it has never been worn. If you notice, the shoes have no scuffs on their tread. And when you look about, it seems to you that this entire place has been constructed, right? For not the, like, everything has been bought within the last 6 months or so for the guest.
Do you know how much it costs to have someone make all of these dresses? Look at how many there are.
Very expensive.
You know how much time this would normally take as well?
Isn't to look good a lady's job?
And I just pick out one.
I think this one would serve us very well if you were to fit in nicely. It's a very nice after dinner dress. You know, keep the eyes off of us while we move about.
I pause and I kind of smirk a little bit at Nell and go, okay, sure, I'll wear this one.
There will be a bit of a to-do to get ready. Luckily, it's 1896, and very heavy corsetry is not particularly in fashion at the moment. So it's not
lovely.
It's not as restrictive. This is
But do I still need help getting in?
a little bit, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then I
Keep
will
your buttons
100%. Yeah. I'll put it on and then ask her for some assistance.
I will, of course, help you.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, what are the gents talking about outside?
I think Kelechi has his notebook out and it's like, so you were in on the other side. What was that like?
It was... Concept of time doesn't really exist. Doesn't really exist there. It was just... I think what the more important thing is, I'll look around. Is there anybody around listening to us during this conversation? Because I feel like it's not...
Would you like... Which answer would you like? Would you like the rich person's answer or the poor person's answer? Or would you like both? What answer would you like?
You know what? I am a man of the streets. I would say both.
The rich person answer, no, there's no one around here at all. The poor person's answer, there's the help. There are maids and butlers. Now, what I would say, what I would say to you is that none of them are like. This is how it works. Their job is to stay unobtrusive, and if you're very rich, you never pay attention to them because why would you? Because you don't pay attention to those sorts of things at all. It's not like there's like a huge number of them, but there's like a lady's maid. Who's here. She's not close to you, and she, like, every once in a while you'll see somebody walk by, sort of making sure that the flowers are still good. They're not paying attention to you. They note you. They note that you are standing by the lady's room, but also on the outside. They also know, because they work here, that she left dinner. So they figure she must be upstairs. They figure you must be sort of standing guard. This does not seem particularly strange to them, or at least they're not going to make any note, and they're not listening to what you're saying, and they're not constant, but you can see here and there.
All right, with that in mind, I'd say, yes, that my travels to Sweden, I've note that Sweden has such a relaxing quality to it, almost like a mist around it, I think because of the hot springs in Sweden, that there's a mist-like quality to everything, if you understand me. Kelechi?
Sweden?
Yes, in Sweden, where the lady is from.
I thought the lady is from the other...
The Sweden. She is from Sweden. Remember, we talked about it. Quite certain.
He just like slowly closes his notebook. Okay.
So when I am
Otto, are you
talking
okay?
about, yes, it's Sweden.
What's
that we are
happening with
talking
your...
about.
He's gonna start knocking on the door. Now there's something wrong with Otto. Are you okay? Is there something in your eye?
No, there's not. I mean, I mean, we could just talk about these science things, but you know, as men of ingenuity, it's good to get elbow grease on us. Yes, you know, the elbow grease that you have to do.
I'm very confused.
It's okay. I mean, you want to tell your contraption looks interesting. I tried giving it a little snack, but it didn't. Didn't quite do anything. So I'm glad it's working
You shouldn't
now.
do that. Yes, you probably shouldn't. You're changeling, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't do that. Don't do that.
I mean, I of course I don't work with tools myself of the trade of what was it again that you other than making, of course, like I know we speak briefly, of course, when Tilly is around. I just, you know, what have you been building, I guess is the correct term.
Oh, many things. Well, the thing I'm going to be showcasing tomorrow is my steam-powered bike. I think cycling with your legs is probably the most inefficient way to travel. Honestly, there's a lot of wasted energy there. So using a steam-powered bike saves your energy, and it's also just generally more efficient. It takes you faster than you could ever go with just your legs. Also, this is Hugin and Moonin, and he kind of like points at the two bugs like that are like powered down on his shoulders. This is my Hugin is my spy drone, I suppose. Surveillance drone is probably a better way to word that, yes. So this is the one I'm assuming you smacked. Don't smack either of them. Or
I'll
use
note
them,
that.
if I'm going to be honest. When I use them, you probably should take a few steps back.
That is very good to know. But I think, Kalichi, if I'm going to be really honest with you, could you make something that could potentially protect a fox, if ever needed to be?
I mean, depends what I'm protecting the fox from. I mean, regardless of what I'm protecting the fox from, I could, yes. But what exactly I make will depend on what I'm protecting the fox from.
I have reliable sources say that maybe we should make plans of, you know, conserving animals around this area, particularly fleet-footed foxes. And I'm seeing by your bicycle, fox could be easily outrun by a bicycle, by your, what did you call it again?
A steam-powered bicycle. Or, I suppose the quicker way to say it, Samantha thought of this, a motorbike.
Motorbike. But yes, I don't know, just something to think about.
Okay.
You know?
Am I protecting it from poison, a gas, bullets? I can make armor for it, I suppose.
Then it'll make it slow. I think the whole idea is to make sure that the fox just stays unblemished. I have no with poisons. Maybe to poison other things other than the fox.
I mean,
But,
that's what
like,
Moonin is for. Okay, yeah, I'll think on this.
Yeah.
And he just starts taking notes. Like he just goes out into the zone and starts taking notes.
Let us transition back into the bedroom in this moment as we have a discussion of perhaps saving foxes from doom and also some questions. Woo! Tilly and Nell getting dressed.
Well, this does look flashy, I guess.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
No, I mean it.
Well, thank you, Nell. We should probably go see about stealing a gem.
Yes. Suppose we should.
Do you have any plans for how to do that?
Well, usually I, case the room and make some sort of plan once I look at my surroundings. Currently, the plan is to just get him alone and away from the staff.
So when you say case the room,
cane.
you mean... Right. When you say case the room, you mean like get in there and just take note of everything?
Yes.
I'm unfamiliar with the term.
Oh, yes, I just look around, see, are there windows? Do those windows open? Who else is here? Can I distract them? What could I distract them with? Could I start a fire?
Should I
How do I
distract them?
escape? Well, you could. You could get into a conversation with him. I mean, but it would probably require quite a lot of distraction. If you know what I mean.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I will absolutely not do that. Under no circumstances will I be doing that. Thank you.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay, great.
It's not
glad
necessary.
We're on the same page.
Perhaps Kalechi could do it.
Yes, Kalechi. Yep, that would be fine. That would be fine as long as it's not me. Okay, shall we be going?
Yes, of course.
Wait, I opened my book. Is there anything in my book, like a spell perhaps, that we could use for this?
I believe you get to choose your spells from your that is part of your one of your assets.
Sets. Oh,
Yes,
can they
and-
be? I'm so sorry. Can they be any of the spells in the rule book?
I believe there might be a limit, like an energy limit. I have to look that up for you.
I'm so sorry. I can also
no
look
worries.
that up. So we can say that I look at the book later, or I'm looking at it now and I'll figure
Yes.
it out. So, yeah, maybe there's something in here that we can use. I'll look at it while we're walking.
Sounds good.
I don't know what some of this means, but okay.
I imagine you step outside at
Yes.
this point. Mm-hmm. And so,
How do I look?
the ladies emerge from the grand bedroom to see our gents.
What do you think?
You look great.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do I look like a snob?
No.
Do I
Do
look
you
full
want
of
to look like a
myself?
snob?
Yeah,
Do you want to?
Well, I mean, that... Never mind. Never
Actually, I know something that might be perfect for your outfit right now. I was going to give it to the lady, but I feel like this might be the most appropriate. Well, it won't come immediately. Can I look for maybe like a servant that I can talk to really quick?
Of course. I mean, you apparently notice servants, unlike, the Viscount.
Like maybe I grew up on a lower echelon and just treat people like people because,
Maybe you treat them like actual people. But, it doesn't take... You have to, wait maybe, 30 seconds or something before you'll see sort of a maid come by, and you can easily flag her down.
Excuse me, miss.
She comes up, and she nods to the lady of the house, Tilly.
I have left a gift for Madame in my room. Could you see there should be a black case on there, and right next to a purple bag. Could you please bring me those objects? I will probably, of course, be going to the ballroom, but it would be most favorable for me, and I'll just go ahead and give her a little, appropriate coinage. Yeah.
Well, yes, sir. But two things. I will get that right away. But no one's allowed to go into the ballroom until it's,
Oh, we will be rejoining the company, of course, and
Wherever they are
just
at the time.
wherever they are. Yes.
Yes, I will do that. Miss, I don't mean to. If you don't
Sir.
mind.
You mean sir?
She's looking at Tilly.
Oh, whoops. Sorry.
Miss, I don't mean to alarm you, but there's a bit of a... And you can tell that there's a little bit of an embarrassment in her
I'm
face.
trying so hard not to smile because I'm sure it's going to be something so silly that the wealthy would normally be so panties in a twist about, but I'm trying to keep that off my face. but I'm really excited to hear what she has to say.
There's a little bit of, And she pauses and sees the three people who are not you,
Oh, it's
within
all right.
earshot.
It's all right. What's the matter?
Well, I know you've been working so hard and everything for everything to go well tomorrow, you know, for the bicycle race.
Absolutely. Is there something wrong?
Well, miss, I know you said that this year there'd be no fox hunting this year at all, and no one was
That's
to
right.
bring anything.
Right.
Well,
Did someone?
the young master's brought his horses, and some of his friends and all have brought horses, and I know that you expressly forbade it, but it seems as if some people want to perhaps have a fox hunt anyway.
And they're all in the dining hall now, correct?
Some are in the drawing room, but Natty and his friends, they've decided that the Bainbridges always have a fox hunt, where they're going to do it anyway. And
Okay.
I know that you
Okay.
you said that it was that you really didn't want it this year, that you wanted something different.
Thank you so much for telling me. I think it would be quite disastrous if the horses were just to be let out. Don't you think?
I am going to need from you a draw. I'm going to need you to
Yes.
draw. I'm going
Yes.
to need you to draw.
Is there
Also-
anything I can do to support this?
Yes.
Like emotionally, you know?
You literally gave Tilly a gift of a disaster that she can orchestrate. All of their fancy, expensive horses just out in the, just running around. Oh, she couldn't stop herself. I'm sorry. I do, however, have a special ability, I think, that allows me to, when I coax somebody to do something that may or may not be,
That's temptation.
yes, let's see.
But temptation usually involves tempting them with something.
Well, this is actually, oh, but maybe I should save this in case somebody dies. But here's what it is. It's favored. The clockwork itself seems to work to protect you from danger, I see. So this has nothing to do with it. Once per installment, you may avoid an outcome. Okay, so
By
I
the
don't want
way,
to use that.
you all get 1 point of potential back. You can choose a point of ether or purpose.
Okay.
Because you get to refresh one for every session if you haven't done already. So she's looking like you've just asked her to do something that will get her in a lot of trouble, and she looks a little. How do you want to do this? You can of course get aid from Nell, and if you do, both of you get to draw, and you get the best ones from you both. But I want to know how you're about to do this.
Well, I'd like to roll temptation if I can.
How are you going to tempt her?
I think. What do I know about her? I guess
You don't know her at all.
No, that's I guess. All right.
She
I've
thinks she
never
knows
seen her
you.
before.
She thinks she knows you,
Okay.
but you don't know her. She thinks you're the lady of the house. But you do know from this moment that she clearly seems to be in your confidence,
Yeah. Okay.
as opposed to in the confidence, like she's telling on the son of the Lord of the Manor, right? So the Viscount Bainbridge's son is doing all of this stuff, and she's telling you.
Does
So
she know? She knows I'm Faye, though, right? Obviously, maybe.
you don't know.
I'm assuming if she's in my confidence and like she can see my ears, so I will reach out and I will touch her arm very gently, and I will say, "I won't let anything happen to you, and no one will know it's you. Just go quickly and quietly. It would mean
Now,
a great deal."
with temptation, you've got to offer her something.
Oh, even if it's the safety of not getting caught?
Temptation is about getting people to do things against their best interests. Usually, you're tempting them with something, right?
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Yes.
Oh. So what does she do right now?
She's uncertain what to do about this because...
No, I mean, like, what's her station?
Oh, she's a
Could
maid.
I offer her promotion to handmaid, like,
For
so that
example.
she's... Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I've been in desperate need of a new handmaid.
Ooh.
What the hell? Is that me?
It's not me.
Oh, sorry.
Draw your card. And I want to know, Nell, how
Okay.
you're going to aid this situation as she's sitting there pondering this. Like, oh, I don't know.
I see Tilly's attempt at what she's trying to do. And I'm just going to follow up and say, yes, you know, handmaids these days are very difficult to come by, and I hear the lady herself only uses like 1 or 2. I also heard a rumor that her last hand lady left very fortunately and is now at another estate in a much better position. She was even able to buy herself a house.
Oh. Would you draw? I think that is also temptation, is it not?
Yeah.
And I want to know which one of you gets the we because you're eating each other, we will take the best draw.
So it's temptation and will?
Presence.
Or... Oh, presence. Okay. So mine is 6, and I rolled a 3. Or I drew a 3, rather.
It's a 9.
Mine is sorry, is it grace and temptation?
Presence and temptation. Because presence is
Presence and temptation.
your force of personality.
Right. So my presence and temptation are 6, and I rolled a 5. So it's an 11.
I see. That is not her will, by the way. I'm just going to note that one. We take, because you're aiding each other, we take the better, which is that 11, which is a phenomenal success. It's like a critical success because you beat by 8.
Yay!
So she looks at the matter and she goes, your own house.
Yes, I heard it was had a little stable. She was able to purchase a horse.
And honestly, how disrespectful of them to ignore my wishes.
Yes, miss. All right. Then she sort of curtsies a little bit. Well,
May I cast a spell?
yes.
I just want her to not look like herself in case she does get seen or caught.
Ah.
I really did mean it when I said I didn't want anyone to...
A bit of a glamour.
Yep.
And tell me how you do it.
I don't know if I want to make it a big deal of it. So maybe when she turns after she's bowing and she's not seeing me, I'll just do a whirl of the hand and it kind of goes up her feet. And then she looks like
Like what?
the Viscount.
And she doesn't notice that she looks different.
No.
And however, I'm going to need I'm
such a shit disturber. I'm sorry.
focus, composure from the rest of you 3.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
focus composure.
Yes,
All right.
please.
Is my focus and composure any good? No. Oh boy.
That's what I wanted to see. That's what I need to see.
Oh no.
Oh.
No.
Of course not.
That's a 1 for me.
This is
would
a
also
0 for
be a
me.
1 for me.
I have a 0.
We all rolled real bad. Draw.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm gonna just want you, Tilly, to draw. I believe for your for that is something plus guile. Probably is it? What is it? Is it presence plus guile for that glamour?
Hold on. It's the illusion one. Let me just look.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. Because I believe
Yes, it's presence plus guile.
that makes sense. Could you please draw that, if you don't mind?
Fate card. Not now. But I mean, not Doom. Okay.
And this is subtle, so they're not going to notice. Because it's a subtle test, no one notices that you're doing it.
So I have 7 for that, and I drew a 1. So that makes it 8.
So you beat everybody really well. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so everyone
So, all of a
who's
sudden.
not Tilly, you all see the Viscount before you. 100% the Viscount is before you right now, just standing there, in exactly the way that he looked at dinner. The maid is gone, but the Viscount is there. You
Bowing, right?
curtsying, actually.
Curtsying. I laugh. I chuckle. I 100% chuckle. This is the best day of my life.
You do not see through the glamour because she did a very good job, and you did not even realize that she was casting a spell, casting a glamour. That is not a thing that you recognized. So the Viscount is right there in front of you all, and he goes, "Well, I will do it as you ask, Miss."
Thank you. Now, just remember.
Viscount?
Hold on. Just remember to stand tall, chest out, and speak to no one. And if you do happen to see someone, just say, "On your way." Trust me, they'll leave you alone.
Miss,
Just
that's
trust me. Just trust me. All right? I'll take good care of you. I promise. You're my
All
new
right, miss.
handmaid.
And the
Good luck.
Viscount curtsies and sort of backs away, and then sort of scurries off.
Look at that scurry. This is the best day of my life.
The Viscount, Tilly, I'm very confused. Is the Viscount your husband or your handmaiden?
What? Neither. No, that was just a spell. I don't want her to get caught or stopped or in trouble, and if anybody does happen to see something, they'll see the man of the house letting all the horses out of the stable.
We should have told her to go get the cane.
Well, I don't think she'd be able to get it from
But imagine the
him
chaos. If the Viscount walked in, give me that cane.
Yes, but then, well, that's true. Oh, wow, that's true. But it could put her in danger. It'd be better if maybe one of us did that.
Think of the messes we could cause working together.
Hold on. Now, wait a second. I like this thought. What if I were to glamour myself as the Viscount? Ugh. But also, I just walked in and I went, "What are you doing here?" You know? And then
Yes.
he was like, "But you're me." And I'm like, "No, I'm the real," you know?
And then, you know what we could do? I could say, I think that's the real Viscount. Tell me something that only I would know. And then you could tell me something that only I would know. And I would say, oh,
And you'd
that's
say,
it.
"That's the real
That's the real
Viscount."
Viscount.
But what if someone else asks me something that only the real Viscount would know? And
We could just kill them. Sorry, it was a joke. I was trying to make you laugh. Wouldn't actually kill them in front of everyone else.
Okay. Well, in that case, what would we do, though?
Now that I think about it, killing them probably is the best answer.
Well, I
am
don't
I
think we
allowed-
should do that.
But you want this very public. I don't think that killing the person who questions the other Viscount is
Yeah.
a very good vote.
And we also don't know who's on the side of my mother. Like that maid there. Seemed to be in her confidence and at least know some of what's going on. Oh man, I really wish I could see those horses running wild.
But
do you know how
besides-
expensive that horse must be?
Besides that point, I need to tell you something desperately. We haven't had a chance to talk, but
Right.
we cannot let the fox hunt happen.
Well, the horses should help with that.
No, but
Why not?
as I was telling Kalichi earlier, that it's very important to the King of Sweden that the fox hunt happens. But we shouldn't
Sweden has a king?
let the King of
That's what I was thinking
Sweden,
as well. I'm
because your
really
mother is
confused.
from Sweden.
Do
Mother is from Sweden.
Right. And I'll just lean into Kalechi. She means Sweden is a code word for
For
Denmark.
then oh god.
from where I'm from and where Otto's from? And
Oh,
where are you?
am I not meant to say that?
No, I think we're trying to keep it secret. Where are
I
you
understand.
from, by the
Okay,
way?
makes sense. Who?
You, where are you from?
Me?
I've never asked
Oh.
you. Yeah.
Well, I'm from Nigeria.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't been there in over
Is
a
that a code
century.
word?
No, I'm from the country Nigeria.
Okay. Just making sure. So the only code word we have is Sweden, and it's for the Fey realm, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So how would I know when you're actually talking about Sweden?
We'll never talk about Sweden for real.
Never talk about
Okay.
No.
Sweden.
Okay.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure. I understand that.
And,
We're on the
and
same
if
page.
we are, we could always say, for real, the actual place. We could always just clarify.
Okay.
But we won't, because we won't talk about Sweden. For real.
Okay.
Right.
I think I understand
Okay.
now.
Okay. And also, I'm not married to the Viscount. Everyone just thinks I'm my mother.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. I would tell you
Okay, I
if I
need
got
to write
married,
that-
Kalechi.
I need
Also,
to write
me
that down.
getting married? Come on. You know me better than that. I hope.
That's honestly why I was so confused.
Okay. Well, I'm glad
I hope my confusion is proof that I do actually know you better than that, because it didn't make. I don't understand people, but I feel like I understand you more than most people,
Yeah.
and that
And-
just didn't compute.
I'm glad it didn't compute, and I'm frankly, if I even were to get married, you know you'd be my maid of honor, right? And everyone would be so upset because it would be so against tradition. Plus, I'd love to see you in a dress.
I think I look actually pretty good in a dress. I just tend
do.
not to
You
because
do.
it gets everywhere, and I've gotten torn and rips in my dress. It's very uncomfortable. Okay, so what are we doing
Well-
next?
You know, if you ever really want to look more feminine, I do know somebody who can help with that in case. If you want to. You know, they switch it every now and then. They can make you look how glamour works. They can make you look male. They can make you look female. It's a very good trade. I think
Okay.
it's a, very viable option. If you were, of course, planning to be maid of honor.
Well, I would
I
want
mean,
it
if it
to
ever
look.
happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wouldn't because I'm not gonna get married. That's absurd. I don't even like anyone.
Not a single person.
Right.
Is there a way I can do an insight check, please?
Yes. Indeed. I feel
If
like
Kalechi gets it, I'm so sorry. I'm out of character to say that if Kalechi gets this is the one insight that Kalechi has ever done.
focus
one-
intuition.
Oh
Focus intuition, if
my
you
intuition's actually
please.
pretty good. Wait. Oh no, my intuition isn't good, but my focus is decent. Okay.
Let's see how good you are.
The Doom card. Oh, what if the Doom card?
What is a doom card? Oh my god.
It would
Sorry,
be in
Annie.
character. Kalechi
Oh
trained.
my god.
Oh,
no! What does that even mean? On this roll of all rolls?
the fate card. Interesting.
What?
Tilly, would you do me a favor?
And
I need
pass
you-
out.
No. I just need you to make a poll, if you wouldn't mind. And that is,
God.
I just need you to make, if you would, I need you to make a guile. Yeah, I need you to pull on guile.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's gonna be.
Watch it be the Doom card now, so that we have Fate and Doom.
Presence plus
Wait.
guile.
Fate and doom.
Oh,
What do we get? Because that's a fate card, by the way. It's just gonna.
Okay.
Yep.
Of
fate
all,
card, yeah.
what? Of all the, rolls or draws to do that
I'm
on? Is that
manifesting
one
the Doom card.
Unbelievable.
God, that is so good.
Okay,
-1.
I did a -1, and I was doing. Sorry again. Tell me.
Presence plus guile.
Presence plus guile.
To see how
is,
good you are at lying.
7. So
So
it's
that's
a
a 6. Yeah, that's a fate card. So, I would like you to whisper so that only
I did it
Kalechi can
already.
hear you.
Oh,
yeah, no.
only Kalechi.
you did it already?
I want everyone to know. Yeah.
Wow! Thanks.
We all get to know.
all the players get to know and the audience. So, yeah, I feel like we have Kalechi, who for this moment wants to figure out how.
This is so embarrassing.
If you don't have feelings for anyone, if that's actually true. We don't know why Kalechi wants to know, but Kalechi does. Kalechi often doesn't get people, but you're the one person. You're the one person that Kalechi gets. So, what does Kalechi glean when you say, oh no, there's no one that I like?
How much do I have to? Can I just say that I'm lying? 100% I'm lying, or do I have to actually tell him?
It's a fate card. It's a fate card. It's the good one. It's the good one. Now I have to reshuffle all the cards, by the way. Talk to us. Talk to us, dearest Tilly. Mm-hmm. Fate. Fate. It's
that
fate.
first one has been on my character sheet since session 0. By the way.
No. Oh
Yes.
my no.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I'm gonna just shuffle up our deck. Please.
They put in chat. Do you have to say out loud? Wait.
Do I
yeah.
have to say it out loud?
Okay, what?
It was a
chat,
fake card.
It's a fake card. Chat, do you want to know? I feel like chat wants to know.
Fine. I happen to think Kalechi is a really stand-up person. Okay,
interesting.
and also, I can't help but be very interested in Nell.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Sorry, and our characters know this? I just want to verify.
No, the characters do not know.
No,
only
just
Kalechi.
only Kalechi knows this.
All right.
Oh, I'm trying to see how. I'll be honest, I did not expect Kalechi. I'm going to be honest.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
my sheet.
Yes. Yes.
No
I
one
see how
will
I can
expect
process
this.
Yeah, Kalechi, you don't
So
get
you guys
people.
have just been through a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you don't get people, but all of a sudden you get an insight. Oh. Huh.
Oh boy, how is he going to react to this?
No. Oh no. This is gonna be.
I
I have a feeling all our characters are about to find out.
God.
No, honestly, I think when he like probably notices how your eyes like you probably like your eyes kind of shift to now and back to him.
Yeah, I'm like, I
And-
don't even like anyone. I like look away.
And I think he's like he takes a moment, like kind of stares, and then you just see like a very clear moment of recognition. Like he doesn't hide that. He's like, oh, and then immediately opens his book and just stares down in his book and just goes, "We probably should get going."
Yeah. Let's go steal a gem.
All right.
The fate card, there's only 1 in 100. There's only also 1 doom in 100. And the fate and the doom cards represent fixed points in the unfolding of the clockwork. They are what the clockwork says must be. And in this moment, some people's feelings are revealed. Where do you go?
I think we head back down to rejoin everybody and read the room. No, that's not what she said. She said, case the room.
You're such a good listener.
Thank you. I try.
Sorry, it's hard for me to gym right now. I'm just shipping. Anyway, I'm just having a little exciting shipping moment between everybody. And I'm like, oh, right, after G, I'm sorry, go ahead. As you, look, sometimes I get distracted by the shipping. As you come down these stairs, down the big central staircase, you come down to the ground floor. And there is, dinner actually has been cleared.
Okay.
And people are now sort of in various sort of groups throughout the house. You have what was the original ballroom where dinner had been, and it sort of moved. And so there's a little bit of a small band playing, and some people are doing some dances. It's 1896, which means they're doing the waltz. So there's some waltzing happening.
Scandalous.
Not as scandalous anymore because it's like the
Okay, all right.
1890s. So now it's doable, but don't pull in too close. You know what I mean? Like you want to make
Leave
sure you have
enough
a little
room
bit.
for the clockwork. Leave enough
Yes.
room for the clockwork.
Yes, you have
Yeah.
all the ears happening. So some people are dancing. When you walk in, I would like to see how noticeable you all are. Let's get some focus and composure to see how much you all notice.
Okay. Can you repeat that again? Focus on what?
Composure.
Focus and composure.
Which I
Oh,
have
boy, you're really
none
choosing
of
my
because
worst
I am
stats.
exposed.
I will just say, if it were anything other than the fate point, the fate card, Tilly probably wouldn't have had to say because you were able to dissemble quite well, but that was not the case. Fate had it, which I love.
We can go through the first ones first, and I'll put mine on.
Sorry, you said focus and composure. I'm having that
apparently you don't have focus or composure right now, but
so
yes.
unprepared
None.
in front of
Gone.
I was naked in front of the entire class presenting my homework feeling. I don't
Sorry,
have focus or composure.
I got
In real life,
8.
8. All right.
So
I also got 8.
I have 3, but
got
I
4.
drew 4. So 7.
And
I have a total of 4.
all right. So all of you you all walk in really well, probably not even necessarily at the same time. And when you walk in, you case the joint expertly. And let's talk about what you all see a little bit, as you have this large room with a small band playing. The band itself is, there's like a violinist, cellist, so it's like a string quartet, but there's also, a couple of brass, clarinet, and just like a very small little sort of wind band sort of playing. And each one of you sort of checks out this space, and you all notice different things. The first thing I would say that all 4 of you notice, because of who you all are, is that the Viscount is not here. Is not in the room. That's the first thing I would say each one of you noticed. You all noticed very, very well. Very impressed. And I like it. But each one of you notices other things as well, because you're all different sorts of folks.
Bonsai pulled -4.
I actually got confused because I thought I saw a 4 on my card, but I got confused with somebody else's 4 when I put down, so I actually got a 0.
0!
I just noticed that. I was like, oh, I thought I put my card down, but I got confused with the positive one versus the negative one, so I'm calling myself
nice.
out.
Nice.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
got a 0?
sorry.
Cool.
I got a
Cool.
0.
Cool.
Sorry.
I got something for you, Otto. I got something for you.
Yay.
You do not notice that the Viscount is not there because you notice something else instead, and I'll tell you about that last. So,
Oh, God.
I know.
sorry. It's just that you have a liability. And anyway, so,
Right. Sorry.
yep. So you're all there, and you're all sort of just checking the space out. Kalechi, what you notice, besides the fact that the Viscount is not there, you do notice this, you also have been in this estate actually more than anyone else of your group. You've been here for, you've been coming to the state for how long have you been coming here?
I think it's 2 years. You said that? I've been building that, so...
That's since you've been building, but if I remember correctly, you knew the Viscount's father
yes.
as well?
Yes. This has been
Yes.
probably at least 100 years.
Yes. So you knew the Viscount when the Viscount was born. You've known this family for quite some time, the Bainbridges, and you've been to this estate multiple times, which means you know the family fairly well. You've seen people come and go. You know the Viscount's son, Natty is what his nickname is, and his cohort. He has a sort of a crew of young nobles who hang out with him, young aristocrats, 4 or 5 or 6 of them. They always sort of seem to you as chads, like the sort of fellows who are wealthy. They if it were the 1980s, it's the 1890s, but if it were the 1980s, they'd have popped collars, probably 2 polo shirts, both with popped collars. They are that. They are that type, right? Like they are all of that privilege, young, handsome. I tend to find people like that not handsome because they've just got like their privilege dripping off of them, and it's very off-putting to me. But many people are like, oh, look at your hair or whatever, right? And so they've got like, they're all of that. And none of them are here either right now, although you did see them at dinner, but they are not present at this sort of post-dinner soiree. And so when you're sort of noting, you're not the biggest people person, but there are people that you know and people you don't know. And some of the people that you know who should be here are not currently in this space. And that you note that.
And this Natty, is his full name Nathaniel or something like that? Like,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
It is. But why use your name Nathaniel when you can have a kicky nickname? You know, like... As you do when you're super wealthy, you just have ridiculous nicknames. That is life.
Yeah, no. Kalechi calls him Nathaniel, 100%.
He likes to be called Natty. And so none of the Viscount nor his son nor his son's friends are present. You also noticed a couple of other people missing as well. All men. Mostly sort of men who are aristocrats who you've seen about. Sort of like there's his friends, right? He has sort of friends who you've seen in town and around here. None of them seem to be present. There are men who are present, but these are not people that you think of as being part of his inner circle, right? Like you would say the Viscount and his inner circle are not present, although there's still a full house.
Yeah.
Tilly, you have never been here before.
In this room?
Well, you've been in this room at this moment, but this is not the state that you've sort of avoided this place, mostly like the plague, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely. I only come here when my parents, I guess, but it's been a while, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. And your parents stopped being invited once you were born. Let's just say we're born. That's the story that is told. Right. So within your memory, at least, your parents stopped being invited to this place, which if I remember correctly, you figured it's because that you were just so shameful and embarrassing that people didn't want to, that how embarrassing. That's the story that you always told yourself, if I remember correctly.
Yes. And they let me assume it, to be fair. They never corrected me.
I suppose that's safer. Whatever, it's fine. But nonetheless, your parents were never invited back to this estate after you showed up. Were born. And so this is not a place you know well. You've never been to this estate before.
Oh, okay.
But you know many of the people around. And when you sort of look at this space, and you also, these sorts of events very well. Looking at this, you would say, okay, this is the post-dinner moment where people are it's sort of a light dance, it's not a formal dance. You can see, generally speaking, there is, if you were going to assess this crowd, you see mostly sort of minor nobility, for the most part, who are behaving as one would in this post-dinner space. It's still a little bit early for people to retire to separate spots, right? Usually, sometime later in the evening, you're going to have the gentleman retire to a smoking room to sort of smoke and sort of perhaps play cards or talk. The ladies will probably retire to a drawing room where they will probably gossip and knit. But it's a little bit too early for that. We're still in a bit of a sort of like a dancing moment. The number of people here seems to be less than should be. Right, for this, there's far more women than there are men, which is not
That's a concern, especially because I learned they still wanted to do the hunt. So if I look around, are the people who would be doing the hunt gone?
You don't know who they would be.
Oh, okay.
You don't know you don't know those people. Kalechi might, but you don't know who those people would be. I would also say that you also notice there is a gaggle of people who are not purebloods, who are, like, there's the professor. Professor's a pureblood, but he's not noble. There are a couple of people here who are clearly not of this class, including Zenobia, who is sort of wandering about, sort of picking up some food here and there still.
So it's like the part of the party where the clique goes and does something else and leaves everybody who they just invited to be nice around.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I'm going to burn this place down when I'm done, by the way.
But these people who are not in the clique are also should not have been invited here, right? These are clearly, you would say.
What does that even mean? But okay, yes, I'm with you.
Let me see. What does it mean? I need my pipe. Well, this is an estate for those who are of society, of good society, one could say. You know, you wouldn't have sort of low-born or embarrassing sort of people. Look, over there, I think there's a farmer, and that seems to be some sort of orphan.
A farmer that feeds the estate.
Well, yes, and they should perhaps stay where the soil is, and not track muddy footprints. Well, there are all sorts of like people who in class systems would not be invited here, who are here as guests. You do notice in the corner that man who's been following you for.
But is he looking for Tilly? Because I imagine, he doesn't recognize that I'm here. I look like the lady of the house.
Observing is what he's doing, right? You can tell that he's on watch.
Yeah.
For probably you. Now, I'm sorry, how long has he been following you, this fellow?
I think I first noticed him when I was 7. 7, air quotes I'm using, by the way. Yeah.
So there's a fellow who's been following you for 20 years, and he is here.
Yeah, okay.
No.
So, I will, like, duck behind, I think, so that I'm not quite so visible.
No.
Yes.
You look, and there are a bunch of rich people.
Naturally.
And you, as you sort of speak, you're like, okay, well, all right, there's a bunch of rich people. However, looking at their clothes and their jewels and their sort of accoutrement, you would assess they're like 2 steps below the Viscount in terms of richness. So these are like a pretty good score if you're going to steal things from them, but like not the, like, still good money, right? But like,
yeah.
The big rocks are not here at the moment.
They're not the true mark.
Yeah, the true mark's not here. However, you do notice all of these sort of this mixed group of people who are clearly not of the class that would come to a place like this, and maybe your eyes, with that wonderful draw, sort of look over them, and one of them looks familiar, and then another one looks familiar, and then another one looks familiar. And as you look, you notice there are maybe 2 people that were in the experimentation place with you to get sort of beast folk augmentations. You notice a couple people who were in the orphanages with you early, that the Viscount's orphanage. They are here. You haven't seen them, of course, in so long. But you see people who... There was someone who I believe was swept up, because, he would sweep up poor people to clean up the neighborhood and put them in orphanages or workhouses. And he's always wanting to sort of make London better, of course. And a couple of these people who have been swept up, people that from your home, they're here. They're in their best clothes, but of course their best clothes are not that great. And you don't know why they're here, but when you look at the people who do not belong here, many of them are people who either you recognize as having been experimented on in that place where you were at, that you saw the Viscount having a discussion with Kalechi, or were part of these roundups that your great philanthropist, the Viscount, rounded them up and put them into terrible sweatshops, or, gave them good jobs, that you just see a number of people like that in this place. They don't have money. You don't know why they're here, but they are here and they're causing dis-ease amongst the nobility to have these sort of rabble here in this space. But they all seem to you as people, like you can start picking them out after a bit, right? Like you drew very well. There's like two types of people. The people who've probably been here many, many a time who feel very comfortable. And you can tell, right? There's a comfort in the way they hold themselves. And then there are the people who have a little bit of discomfort as if it's their first time here. It's your first time here. It's Tilly's first time here. It's Otto's first time here. It is not Kelechi's first time here. And they are either not pure-blood human, or they seem to you to be people who might cause trouble. They probably do not mean to cause trouble. Some of them might, actually. Some of them might be, like, for example, thieves. But some, like, just randomly, just picking up a random thought. But their presence is disquieting and uncomfortable for people. And there's a bit of... I know you don't believe in the whole destruction of the clockwork and all that stuff. I know you don't, like, because you think that's silly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course. But let's say there were a clockwork. Let's say there were, and let's say things like snow in the middle of midsummer's a sign of that. This set of people who've been invited to this party, who are here, you could think of them as being like you. People who are infused with aether, infused with a will of freedom, of change. And some might say that that sort of a thing can be disruptive to order, could be disrupting of the status quo, could be, if you believed in the clockwork, as the way that certain people do, not the way that Kelechi does, clearly, that their presence could upset things.
Yes, well, that's why I don't believe in the clockwork. I don't want to believe in a clockwork that would be upset by the things it creates.
Yes. Well, I mean, there are quite a few rich people who would tell you that that's exactly how the clockwork works, and that perhaps...
Yes, well, of course, they're rich.
Well, indeed. And really...
They've never had to actually think of anything outside of their own standing their whole lives. Of course they have time to think about the clockwork and all its machinations. Of course they have the space and time and energy and money to think about how those things work. Well, we're just trying to get by through the day. The clockwork's not ending today, is it?
And as you're pondering that, you can hear the professor speaking to someone. Going on. You see, it's the great chain of being, isn't it? I mean, you have the clockwork maker at the top, and then you have the monarch. You have our royal, who's been given their status as our regent, as the head of the empire's divine right. And each person has their spot within this structure and the great chain, and everyone must stay in their spot. And anyone who's not in their spot, well, that disrupts things. And you can just hear the way in which people like him think about the clockwork, that everyone has a spot in the clockwork. And if you are rich, you are meant to be rich. And if you are poor, you are meant to be poor. And any sort of changing of status is disruptive. And you can hear those with the money, sort of the professor speaking this way to those with the aristocrats who all nod. And you can see the people who do not have money frowning a little bit at this sort of discussion. But our fourth, Otto, you failed your focus composure, so it's not the room that you notice. It's a silver platter on the wall. It's engraved with filigree. It's beautiful. It's just there on the side of the ballroom. And it's polished. Everything here is polished. All those silver sconces with their torches in them are polished, engraved. Wait, I'm sorry. Did you see something there? In the platter? I think there you saw movement in that platter.
Oh.
Like a little...
I'm just so distracted. I'm going to just kind of walk towards the platter.
You all are taking in the space as Otto, as he walks towards this platter. And as you walk towards this platter, you see her. Your sister. And she is on the other side of this platter, and she's putting her hand up to this platter to try to tell you something. And you can't hear what she's saying. But she's distressed. Clearly something is the matter, but you can't hear what she's saying.
Could I try to, like, as going closer, look at her lips and try to kind of puzzle something that, like, maybe O sounds and stuff that look particularly...
This will be focus as your attribute, and for your skill, normally it's composure, but you could do, if you wanted, intuition because you know your sister so well.
Intuition. Okay, it's pretty much the same, either or. So it'd be a 4 altogether. And then let me draw. Oh, please don't be Doom. Please don't be Doom. Ha 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 ha.
Could be a Doom.
I got an actual 4 this time. So now it is 8.
Oh, my friend. Yeah. So as you're looking and you're concentrating on her lips to try to read her lips, and as you concentrate, she shifts her shape. A mustache grows on her face, and she starts to look like you. And you start to look like her in your mind. No one else sees anything. But in this moment, you look like her, and she looks like you. And this phasing between the two of you, you notice around you is not they're like leaves on the ground, trees. And you feel like when you see it's now in the other side is the ballroom. And then you phase back to your side. And as the door is revolving and you phase back into this space and to that space, you hear her say, Poseidon. Beware, Poseidon. You will drown. You will drown. And you can see water start coming out of her mouth as she chokes. And then you see him. Not just the hand, but the figure. A man, tall, thin, green, spindly, but regal, with a crown made of bark from a fir tree, with 4 or 5 knuckles on each finger. And he emerges from the darkness behind your sister. And you read his lips, and you can read him say, Buttercup, what are you doing looking into that pond? Always looking into the pond. You have work to do. Our power, the ritual, the death, the sacrifice. Do not tarry. And his hand reaches out and grabs Buttercup on the shoulder. And you see a fake smile cross her lips as she turns to Oberon and curtsies. And they recede into the plate. And then he looks back into the pool. and he peers into it to see what she was looking at. And she tugs at him to bring him away, and his eyes meet yours. And we go to break.
Wow!
We got a little 10-minute break.
Wow.
Everybody.
Holy crap. I love this show. I love this show.
Oh, yeah. And
Quick, let's go to break so then we can come back.
we're going to go to break and then we're going to come back. Everybody in the chat, drink water, stretch your legs. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Hydrate. Hello, welcome back everyone to the second part of episode 4 of Midsummer Mysteries. I hope you're all doing very well. Right now, our heroes have scoped out, have cased the grand ballroom, not the special ballroom, but the grand ballroom, and they have learned that the Viscount, his son, and his son's buddies, and the Viscount's buddies are not present. They're probably just having a lovely time somewhere in a smoking room. And we have a kind of a slightly unstable mix of people. People who believe in order and everyone staying in their place because they're at the top of the heap, and people who are at the bottom of the heap who may not like that so much, all in this ballroom together at this moment, giving us a kind of a complicated, tense vibe. And Otto saw his sister Buttercup, and there was a bit of a mixture between the two of them as the door revolved. But we learned that Neptune can drown you, and beware. A bit of a warning. And so, what all would you like to do? No one pays that much attention to you at the moment. Because people are dancing, there's music, people are debating politics. Zenobia is perhaps taking silverware and putting it in her bag, and Brutus is sort of like the puppy, little puppers, little doggo. Brutus is making his way around, or her way, their way, around the ballroom and sort of like noting people. What do you all do?
I think
Oh no, go ahead.
I think Kalechi, hearing the misclaims and the misinformation being spread about the clockwork, is going to he can't help himself. He's gonna butt in to correct everyone. So he's gonna just walk. Actually, no, the clockwork couldn't care less about the standing of anyone. Honestly, the clockwork couldn't care less about anyone in general. I actually have the calculations here. The reason why the
No, I'm sorry. That's your professor friend. He's like, no, I'm sorry, that's not right at all. Clockwork's about order, and class is a form of order, and so we must always sort of keep in mind the appropriate stations. This is what the clockwork's about, clearly.
Professor Kelly, you're a professor.
Yes.
Where did you study?
Well, I studied at Cambridge.
Okay, interesting. So, with Cambridge education, you probably know about the problem between the idea of linking causation with correlation, correct?
Yes, but there are some things that are just obviously true scientifically. And as this conversation's happening, poor Otto is freaking out a little bit in the corner, right? Like, is seeing these visions. Yes, so we know that the clockwork is about order and structure. If you have, for example, a wheel that is broken, it cannot go. And clearly, we can see that there are people agitating to sort of overthrow. Do you know that there are communists running about? And I think that young woman over there is a communist, but they're communists and they wish to overthrow the structure. And as we've had more communism and whatnot, well, clearly, you can see right now that the Pontus is rising. You've seen it yourself with it. And somebody like scoffs at this whole idea of the Pontus rising in the background. So we must think about how to restore order, to make the clockwork go.
I must say, look at where we are. Does it seem like communism exactly thriving right now?
Well, that's what we have to stamp out. We have to stamp out those sort of communists and, well, my good sir, I'm going to say this. Do you know that there are women who want the vote? This is ridiculous. This sort of thing is clearly against the clockwork. Women voting, this is just upending the natural order of things. And if the natural order is upended, well, chaos.
Okay, as a professor with your Cambridge education, could you show me the calculations and how you came to this conclusion? Because at least from what I've seen, if anything, the only correlation I'm seeing is that as the British Empire expands, the clockwork seems to be degrading more. Again, like I mentioned, correlation doesn't always equal causation, but there is still a correlation. That's probably the smarter conclusion to come to than anything else.
No. You see, let us discuss the spreading of the empire. As the empire spreads, we bring order to the world, you see? And so therefore...
And wouldn't that mean the clockwork would stop degrading?
Yes, and so we must expand the empire. We're in a race, you see? It is us, the empire, versus chaos. So what we must do is, well, the French, you see, look at the French getting in our way. We have to sort of, really what we should do, the best thing would be for us to take over the entire world and bring order to everyone. That would fix the clockwork.
And you said you had Cambridge education.
Yes.
Where did you place in your class when you graduated?
What does that matter? I'm a professor of philosophy.
Oh.
Seems they'll give any professor title to anyone these days.
Philosophy, okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I thought you were a professor. I made a mistake.
No.
He's gonna turn away and legitimately look for someone else to talk to who else is talking about the clockwork.
I am just beaming, by the way. I love how he, without even trying, can immediately take someone of the highest class just down and just... It's lovely.
Could you, if you wouldn't mind, if you are all right, could you just make a roll for me, Kalechi?
Yes.
I would appreciate that if you would. I
have a question. How does reputation work?
This is what we're gonna roll for right about now. Actually,
okay.
we're gonna make that roll right now, if you don't mind. I'm gonna need from you presence plus refinement, or yes.
Presence plus refinement.
Yes, please. Because people are watching this conversation.
Okay, that's decent. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a -1, and my presence plus refinement would be a 5, so a 4 with a -1.
4. I see. So,
would my reputation as a brilliant inventor, can I do anything with that? Can I add, or I don't know how the reputation exactly works.
It does. So here's what happens. What is you have a famous inventor's year 2, yes?
Yeah.
He has a reputation, but his reputation is only 1. So that means you get over your reputation beats his. His esteem is going to be lowered. So people like him. They're generally, positive towards him in that sort of nice little row of statuses. And as you're speaking, poor guy, you say these things because everybody's agreeable towards him. They're agreeable, or they were agreeable towards him. They're no longer agreeable towards him now that the room is now indifferent towards him as you damage his reputation with what you said. That was a reputation attack and you beat his social defense. And as you just say this and walk away, the rest of the people in the room go, oh. And they all look at him, and a couple people will just step a little bit further away and turn their back towards him. And he's like, oh, no, excuse me. I that's a professor. It's philosophy is a science. It's and as he's speaking, you can just see everybody's attitude towards him just slip further, and the crowd of people that he had been, it was like a crowd of like 5 or 6 people that he'd been sort of like regaling with his theories about how the clockwork works. Like, most of them just seem a little bit less interested in what he has to say. And 3 or 4 just turn and start having conversations with someone else. 1 or 2 of them sort of just follow you a little bit to see what you have to say, as that intrigue attack damages reputation.
And like he had no idea. He was like, "Okay, I thought you were like a science professor. My bad. That's my mistake. I'm sorry." And he just walks away.
Yeah. And he sees what you did, and he notes it, and he's decided he's going to ruin you. I don't know if that's going to happen, but he's planning to ruin you. You took him down though. It's hard. That's gonna be bad for him. Otto, what do you do?
After I'm having this episode, did we did the contact, the eye contact. I was trying to hide it. Yeah, the fade.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and quickly make some steps, like look for what's called Nell. Quickly look around for Nell. And if I find her, I'm gonna just go ahead and tap her and Nell.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Do I still
Are you
look
all right?
Do I still look right? What do I look like to you? What do you see?
What does Otto look like to me?
Otto looks to you the way that Otto presents himself,
Okay.
although perhaps a little stressed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you look quite anxious, but you don't look any different.
Okay. I saw her again, and I saw him.
You saw him. Him.
The one who's keeping the
hymist. Yes.
Swedish him.
Yes, the Swedish hymn.
Swedish king. Yes.
Okay, and what happened?
He saw me.
He saw you.
They're
Are you sure
preparing
he-
already?
Preparing.
They're preparing right now, and beware Poseidon.
Is
That's what she told me. They're preparing. They're getting everything ready. They're completely ignoring. We have to stop this hunt.
we'll stop the hunt,
Immediately.
Otto. All right. We'll stop the hunt. I turn to Tilly. I don't know if Tilly's next to me still, like if we walked in. Okay. Tilly, I believe that we should make haste. Maybe
I
you should
agree.
grab Kalechi and...
I don't see
Could you-
anyone here that.
No. Could you perhaps ask someone, "Oh, where is my husband?"
Okay, sure. Kalechi. I'm still like trying to hide behind Nell a little bit. Kalechi. Kalechi.
Yes.
Can I wave him over?
And he's gonna like, he's looking behind him like he's probably like caught a conversation on the clock and it's like, okay, maybe next time. And
He
he just
just
hurries
leaves
over
the conversation. He doesn't even say pardon me. He's just like, what? I think we need to go. I don't see... he's not here.
Yeah, I noticed that. Nathaniel wasn't here and this gang either.
Nathaniel, okay. I look around for the help, actually.
Oh, they're there.
Okay. And
They're working real hard because it's a
Yep.
huge party,
Yep.
and you know,
Try to flag someone down.
and will you do me a favor?
Sure.
I would like you to
God.
draw a card. Would you like high or low?
I mean, high does well for me.
All right.
Okay.
We're going to go for the number in the top right corner. Above 50 or below 50 is your question.
Oh.
This is a luck draw.
Okay, so I'm just drawing a random card? Mm-hmm. Just to be clear? Okay.
Yep.
Oh boy, okay.
This is for luck. You're going to flag someone down. The question is who? 38.
Minus 1. 38.
In that little upper corner, it's a percentile. It's a percentile.
I did not even know that. That's amazing.
Isn't that cool? You can always
Yeah.
like figure out a percentile.
Oh.
Right? The deck's pretty awesome. So that's a 38. So that's under, and you want it high rather than low.
Yep.
So you do flag someone down. You flag down Lurch, the butler.
Okay.
And he
Okay.
walks over to you.
Oh.
Sort of tall, thin, serious. Has been here forever. Slightly desiccated. Madame.
Have you seen my husband?
He leans into you very close. Could you roll for me? Presence
Leave
plus
enough room
guile.
for the clockwork. Yes.
I get a -1. Give me your presence plus guile.
Sure. I'm pretty sure that is 7. Let me just double check.
Oh,
I think we've done that a couple times
Yep,
now today.
It's for you to...
Yes. That is correct. It's 7, so total would be 8.
He leans in very close. Madam, your husband has retired to the smoking room.
Which one?
And that does not seem like an odd question at all. And he goes, the southern one, madam. And he sort of points down. He is there with your son-in-law.
Great, thank you.
And he ponders. Stepson? Stepson. Stepson. And like, he's sort of like, you can see he's trying to figure out like, exactly like, what is the, madam. And he sort of turns back. It is nice to see you down here. You come so rarely.
Thank you. It's a special occasion after all.
And he peers at you a little bit closer again. You are looking... You have a bit more color to your cheeks, madam.
It's just makeup. Thank you. And then I will immediately curtsy or whatever it is that I feel.
And he bows?
Yeah, and then I will back up. See, Tilly knows what to do. She just chooses not to do it. So I curtsy and then I back up and then, okay, he's in the smoking room. South side. This floor? Yeah, this floor. That way.
All right. Would it be strange for our group to enter the smoking room? I imagine it would be.
Well, yes, but...
Wait, why would
you
it be
see,
strange for us to enter it?
You could probably get away with it, but I don't know if we could. I'm pretty sure they don't let ladies in the smoking room, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that whole gross girls can't go in here thing.
It's a man's world sometimes.
Yeah.
Although you
so-
are the lady of the house, you could step in if you needed something, but you would
I
not be
could
expected
maybe-
to stay.
Yeah, I could maybe step in for a moment, be a distraction. Otto, Kalechi, you could probably go in, but Nell certainly can't. Which brings me to, hold on, look at this book. And then I flip it over, knowing you guys probably just see a blank page. But there's a ritual here for a hiding coat, which would make you, I think, invisible or undetectable as long as you wear this coat inside out. Although,
Excuse me, what?
yes.
A quick question. Do I know that this kind of magic exists, or is it
Yes.
completely new to... Okay.
Yes. It is not what you specialize in, but you do know it. You do know
So
it.
I know this is a grimoire or something like
Yes. You know the mysteries.
Yeah, and there's a spell specifically here to hide you from Fey folk or from mortals, which I think
Are
we
you
would want to use that
telling
one.
Are you telling me that I could be completely invisible and I could just stroll in there and no one would see me?
Yes.
Not like I'd need it, but my goodness, that would be lovely.
Yeah, yes. That's what I'm saying. At least that's what it seems like. We could certainly try it.
Well, I could just stroll right in and just take the gem.
That's
theoretically.
The hope. Yeah, and then maybe Otto and Kelechi can go in and kind of get a feel, read the room, case the room, and then decide when the best time to do it is, and then maybe they give us some sort of signal, and then you go and get it, and right when you're ready to do the thing, I walk in and distract. And then you take it, and then we all leave. Or maybe I don't walk in and distract, because I technically am well, no, because I'm my mother, but she's trapped up in that room. No, she's trapped in the house. Yeah, I think that would work.
By the way,
I can't hear you.
Kelechi, could I just get a presence refinement from you, if you don't mind? I just would like it, if you don't mind. Just
okay. Presence refinement, not too bad. Just gonna put it around to the deck.
Yeah, I just.
Fates, no way.
What?
Oh
No way.
Okay.
Stop! What are the chances of
Okay.
this?
Okay.
Especially
the same
This is
person.
gonna be awesome.
Okay.
We gonna
What?
steal some shit.
So I'm going to tell you what this was for, what this draw was for.
Okay.
Because when you did that whole big discussion, I was like, you damaged the professor's reputation, but I wanted to know how this impacted your reputation. Because as you know,
Okay.
the people at this party are guarded towards you. They don't trust you. People are looking at you very often. You are a Nephilim, and you are not of the proper class, and also you were dishonorably discharged. Nobody knows why, but everybody knows it. So people, as you know, are not super well disposed towards you. And I thought chances are not going to be very good that you're going to be able to increase your esteem here, because it's very hard. However, fate says that your esteem goes up a step. Please increase your esteem from guarded to now indifferent. They see you and the professor as equals at this moment in terms of how they feel about you all. When you started, they liked him and they did not like you. Now that is a slightly different situation. At this moment, people are feeling better about you. So you may increase your esteem a step.
That is ridiculous.
Not 2 steps. It was a fake card. Just saying.
I see it. It is the fate card. I will give you 2.
Wow,
You will go
okay.
from indifferent to agreeable, because it's the fate card.
Maybe everyone found the professor super obnoxious, and so to see you just take him down a
Yeah.
notch, everyone was like, we like him now. We love him.
You're not favorable yet, but
Yeah.
you are agreeable, which is very hard to do in this crowd. They don't like low class Nephilim, because these people are the worst. But you made a lot of sense with your argument, and this will have an impact, right? They're pondering
wow.
what you have to say now. This idea that maybe it's not right? Now people are curious about your calculations and what that might mean. And the room is just a little bit different towards you. And your idea...
Kelechi doesn't notice. He doesn't. He's like... Less people are staring at him, but he didn't notice them staring in the first place, kind of thing.
But Otto, Nell, and Tilly definitely notice. There has been a shift in the vibe towards him. It's just obvious. People look at you all with down their noses. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how they are, these people. They're snobs.
Yeah.
And they can look at you and tell that you're not of their class, and they usually let you know it. And they don't look at him that way anymore. And you can see people sort of nodding. And as you were all sort of moving to the side, Kelechi doesn't catch it, but some of you hear, oh, that Nephilim seemed to have some interesting ideas, don't you think? Oh, he took down the professor a little bit. And there's just like, you can just hear the way the room's attitude is changing towards him. And some people are questioning their ideas about what makes the clockwork work or not. And like, well, did you see? Well, it did snow. It snowed right here in this estate, inside this room. And like, you can just hear these whispers, because that was the fate card. That's a 1 in 100. Please go, as you were saying.
Wow.
Well,
I can go in and, I suppose, speak to the Viscount with Otto. Case the room, I think is what you said.
yes. And then I would go in invisible, and then Tilly would come in and be a distraction while I invisibly steal the gem. I believe that's the plan.
Sounds good.
Yes.
I'm so sorry, but it is a 1 in 10,000 chance what just happened. Holy
Yeah, picking it twice it is, yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
dude. Okay, sorry.
don't know.
All right.
Look, I'm just telling you.
I'm ready.
Wild.
I'm just telling you. That's all I'm saying.
So
Just to interject, there's 5 people here as well, and the same
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
drew the card, which is a
Wow.
1 out of
Yep.
50,000 chance.
I love this.
Let's go for
Wow.
round number 3.
Yeah, let's go.
do
Let's
it.
go.
We're shuffled. We're shuffled.
Well, before we do anything, I saw something. Because I saw a vision of Sweden came to me.
Like the oh right, code word. I thought. Okay. What'd you see?
I was given a message about beware Poseidon.
Poseidon can drown you.
Poseidon can drown you. If that makes any note to mine, and
I mean, yes, there's a statue of Poseidon on
Okay. Well,
top.
I mean, is he a god? What?
I mean, Poseidon, from the myths, yes. I don't know if the statue is.
Well, I mean, I might have something in here that can help. Everything's very specific. Mortal, celestial.
but I do think that, like, we should Tilly's, or I mean, her Madame's plan to check on her husband seems to be the right place, and maybe you could share your motorbike idea. Yes, that's what it was called, motorbike.
Yes, it was actually some. I tend to just make the creations. Samantha makes the.
Motor.
I think it's motorbike.
Oh.
Samantha made the name. I'm not really much of I'm not great at naming things.
I like it.
No, yeah, it's very simple. It's
Flashy.
much easier to say than steam-powered bike.
Bicycle. Yes.
Yeah. But
Should
yeah, I
we
can
try?
I can definitely talk to them. Yes, I'm always down to talk about the things I've created.
You know, and I plus I bet that this would be for the gentleman class quite an investment into these new technologies.
That's perfect. So you
and
can go
in. Yes, as I could be the one to, you know, you're looking for business now, of course, that you're no longer in your previous position. Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
nothing distracts men like business.
Is that
Indeed.
true?
Yes,
I
of
just
course.
made it.
Don't you know, as you know,
Yes. Enterprising young
Okay.
gentlemen, you know.
Well, just think, if
Okay, let's-
someone asked you about your calculations, you would be enthralled, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Yes.
the same. Yeah, it's the same thing, really.
Okay.
Okay.
I could take the very goggles off of your head if you were so interested.
I prefer if you did
I mean,
that.
I'd like to see that. I know we're in a time.
Oh, well,
crunch, but-
I know what happens if I actually tried to do that, Kalechi, so don't worry.
Wait, I don't. Does anything? Nothing happens. I just like my goggles.
Shall we go steal a jewel?
Yes. Can't keep a straight face.
You're so good. Okay.
So good. So good. I am going to
Then
need...
I will lead us to the.
Yeah.
Yep.
I believe you wanted to make your ritual first. Is that correct?
Yes. So is it possible? So I don't really know how these work. Is it possible for me to do this hiding coat for mortals, right? Because I
Yes.
think that's what I would want to do. Yeah.
So you're going to need... How long would you like this to last?
I'm assuming it's harder the.
The longer.
Got it. Okay. How
have,
long, Nell, would you say that you need?
1 hour or scene, 4 hours, 12 hours, one day.
1 hour is fine.
Okay.
It's not going to
that's
take her
more
an
than
hour to
enough.
steal a
No.
gem. Okay, yep, I'll do that one. I hope.
So 4. That's a difficulty of a 4. Give me your will plus mysteries minus 4.
Okay. So will is 4. Mysteries is now 4. So that's 8. And boy, wouldn't it be cool if I drew the fate card right now?
Oh
now,
no,
but
that's
before you
somebody
do
in
it-
a different car.
By the way, where are you going to do this?
Probably in like a study or a private room that's close to this room where we're talking, and maybe I don't know, just not out in the hallway, essentially.
So the way it works is that with this now, this particular ritual is preset, but in a different space you could change it. This is going to be it's like a difficulty 4. That's sort of the strength of it, which means you need to match that with basically 4 levels of something. And the thing that you can use to offset is the number of people, the expense of your items, and how long it takes. So if you do it by yourself, then that's a rank of 1. If you have another person helping you, that's 2.
Okay.
With some basic materials, that's 3. So it would take you 30 minutes
Okay.
to sort of do this if somebody helps you.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely ask for help. Kalechi knows all about this, probably. Do you think we have a half an hour for me to do this? Does somebody want to just walk by and see if they're still there? And
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of
Sorry. Earlier when Tilly turned the maid into the Viscount, and we only saw the Viscount, but did we know that Tilly actually did something to make that person the Viscount? Because
No.
we rolled pretty low. So
Yep.
we just, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because she did it subtly. The
Right,
glamour is
okay.
subtle, so you just all of a sudden the Viscount was there, and you're like, that is super weird.
Okay.
That was super
so I didn't notice. I wasn't like, oh, she can do glamours that turns people
Well, I
into other
told you.
people.
I told you
Okay.
it was a spell. Yeah, I
Yeah.
told you
Yeah,
it was a
that's right,
glamour.
that's
Like,
right.
oh, that was me.
So-
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so
okay.
your
I just
eyes
wanted to.
didn't
So you are
believe
aware
it, but
that I
she
can
told
do it.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're
Okay,
like, wow, okay. Like,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, she was good enough that you didn't even realize that was happening, and she told you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tilly,
Yes.
well, could an alternative be that you turn me into a fine gentleman?
Oh, and I just look so disappointed because I very clearly wanted to do this new thing in this book that my mom gave me. And I realized that is a much faster and better solution.
Is it?
Oh.
However, I mean, if we didn't have the time, if we have the time, I'm perfectly fine to do your version. The invisibility makes it much easier for me to snatch the jewel. If I'm a person, obviously, I still have to not look like I'm stealing the jewel from him. But if we're short on
You're
time,
very good at that, right?
yes.
What
If
do
you
all
need
think?
time,
I will.
I think we could.
the
I
high-
could. Yes. Kalechi, you know as a modern man of your stature that practicing old, ancient, barbaric traditions, we should probably get a word of that. We are modern people now in a modern society. And that fox hunting should start become to plural. I feel like we could start a whole concession with, these esteemed people while the ladies go to the powder room.
Yes, that's a great idea.
They will never stop talking about that topic.
Just stall them and keep them there as long as you can. And
Okay, I can do that.
bring up Sweden if there's any problems. Just start talking about Sweden. Yeah.
Okay,
Or
hold on. And he's gonna
any code word that you want.
he's gonna pull out again the little brass ball his bug reverted back to, and then pull out another one and shake it. Okay, this is the one. I put the other one in his pocket.
Oh wow!
This
Yeah, please
is-
don't poison us.
This is Hugin.
I'm really uncomfortable that you have to shake them to figure it out, dude.
This is Hugin. I have the control here. We all start talking about Sweden. You can hear it from the powder room, and
I
I
just
place
pulled
it
out
in
my hand because I
Tilly's
know
hand.
exactly. Yeah, I'm familiar with
Yeah, and I
Sweden.
place it in Tilly's hand.
Perfect. Okay, this is a great idea. This is really good. This is great. Okay, go and we'll try our best.
Okay,
All right.
and head
Let's do
over
this.
to the smoking room.
Yes. Smoking room and
Yeah.
you
two
just
gentlemen.
have to. Yes.
Open the door. You open the door and you step inside this smoking room. Oh, my friend. When you walk inside, first off, the place is thick in smoke. This is like oh yes, it's that kind of thick with smoke. And all of the men are wearing smoking jackets and little smoking hats, little embroidered smoking jackets and hats. They've changed their because they all smoke so much that it's going to get on your clothes, and so they've that's what the smoking jacket is for. So the
Probably
smoking
clothing,
jackets,
yeah.
just smell gross all the time. But so they're in these smoking jackets, which so that they will not smell of smoke when they leave. And they're all sort of drinking brandy, probably, or sherry. They're all smoking their pipes. And when you walk in, you notice that they were clearly in a very intense conversation that stops the minute you two walk in. Like, that conversation just stops dead, and it's a little awkward. Maybe not for Kalechi, but Otto, you're like, ooh, okay, interesting, right? Like, that's that kind of a, what were you all talking about, right? Because it's that immediate, stop. And they're all, huddled in towards each other, leaning in, and the minute you both walk in, their eyes snap to you. And the Viscount steps up and goes, Kalechi. It's good to see you.
Viscount Bainbridge.
Yes. The Viscount narrows his eyes at Otto and goes, yes. The investor, Mr. Spice.
Hello there, sir. With all the I see you have been making wise investments yourself lately.
I
Quite
have
impressive.
indeed. Now, some of the investments, I'm so sorry to say that I scooped them out from underneath you.
Oh, yes. I mean, it is, of course, unfortunate that happened, but I mean, one businessman to another, I could see that that you have a very, very good head on your shoulders. So very nice, and it is very nice to meet a fellow competitor, because as one says, without competition, one becomes stagnant. Is that correct? And it is very... I'll give my hand out to shake really quick, and while I am doing that...
Before you do, I have a question.
Okay.
Before
Yes.
you do, I have a question. If I remember correctly,
I do not
he has undercut you a number of times. Is that correct?
Yes, I am just screaming in the inside while I am talking, as you can see my... Just a smile, businessman smile.
I'm sorry, I don't want to, press this at all, but that seems weird, right? That he's undercut you so many times. It's not like you advertise where you're going to invest.
Nope.
So, somehow he always seems to know what you're investing in?
Indeed.
That's weird. And he also seems to always know about what you're bidding, and he always just undercuts you?
It's quite...
That, I don't know about you, but that seems quite odd to me. And it seems so consistent. How are your finances? Are you all right?
I am in a comfortable position, but I could have been much, much, much better.
Gosh, all those investments that he undercut you with, they worked out so well for him. They've brought him a lot of wealth. As a matter of fact, I suspect that all the renovation on this estate happened because he just happened to know what investments you were doing and undercut you so that he made all that profit.
Indeed.
And that fueled all of this construction, including the new ballroom. So weird. Anyway, he goes, before you reach his hand, I just wanted to sort of ponder that sort of amazing luck he has in undercutting you all the time.
I mean, that's okay. So, I'll go ahead while I'm going and shaking his hand and getting that touch in. I just have to know your secret because it seems like every time you do that. But also, it's going to be. Let's see.
You have a changeling glamour, don't you?
I'm
You
looking
do,
which
don't
one
you?
would be best. Yes, I know. It just happened to be. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you which one, because I have two that lead very similar things, but one, whom they made I settle social contact. Okay, so one is befriend and beguiled.
Yes.
So one is either I drop their guard, that is beguiled, and befriend is that I do subtle social attacks against the will and composure. And they gain basically I become best friends with them and I get a temporary rank of friendship.
That's a
Versus
good one.
the other one, the befriend.
Yeah, that's a good one. Because
right.
then you basically you get a hook on them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that one is befriend, and it doesn't cost me anything. All I have to do is contact the person.
And I imagine they're going to resist.
That's target's will plus composure against my presence and guile.
Okay. 6 is your number. As you
right.
reach out and shake his hand.
Ooh, okay. I'm scared now with these cards. Oh, awesome. So my presence is a 4, plus my guile is a 3, and I just got a 3.
Oh, okay. I'm going to note this down. Tell me, how do you use your glamour here?
You know, it's just somehow we have this there's like a twinkle in our eye as we connect, and my hand grip is just the perfect firmness for a very manly entrepreneur, someone who could, who can also drink with the men and boys. It's just like my stature looks a little bit more rugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that affinity, you can always use that affinity as a weapon as well, like a social weapon. So this is interesting. When you go in to shake his hand, there is something that is obvious to you. One, he has respect for Kalechi. right? He knows Kalechi. He has respect for Kalechi. Also, Kalechi seems to be a bit of the golden boy at the moment. And you also knew that his conversation with you was pleasant, but underneath there was a bit of a sneer. You know, like a, I'm just going to rub in your face that I keep stealing all your stuff, right? Just like a little bit. But as you touch his hand, and, well, you are not a pure-blooded human. You are the grandson of the King of the Fae. And you are a trickster Fae. And that changeling energy just... You can see it. It's like, there's a faint smell of fur in the air. The tree, not the pelt. And as he shakes your hand, the Viscount goes, and he sort of assesses this sort of firm handshake you have. He takes his hand back and he goes, Kalechi, why didn't you introduce me to Mr. Ward earlier?
I'm honestly sorry. It seems like you know each other anyway, so did I need to?
Well, I know of each other. We've never really had conversations. But I do appreciate
it's a good thing that we're here now.
Yes, it is. Come. Wait. And there's the moment. This is the test. You can tell. It's the test because he puts his finger up and he says wait, and there's that vibe. And he says, Mr. Ward, tell me, do you ride?
Actually, I have fancied myself into riding occasionally, though of course, being a busy man myself, I haven't had enough leisure time to do so.
Let me ask you a second question then. Do you hunt?
Why, yes, indeed. It is quite a great skill of mine, you know. But of course, I'm just very, very humble. But you know, as you know, as things go, I do occasion myself. But you know, I have heard, you know, there are quite fancier game out there than your just, you know, typical person out there. You know, I being a well-traveled man myself, have heard that, you know, common animals are just so...
One moment. If you'll excuse me. And he nods his head over to one of the men. And he goes, Would you mind, he says to his friend, who you do not know, and this fellow steps up and walks over to you, and he looks to you to be pure-blooded human, except his ears are just a little bit pointed, and he has like no pores, you know? And the man steps up to you very close and sniffs.
Excuse me, do I have an odor of some sort on...
And this man with no pores nods to the Viscount and goes, Fur, my lord. And he looks at you and he goes, Fur? Well, if it's fur, I imagine it might be all right to invite you along. It wouldn't offend. You, if you would like, are invited to a bit of a secret hunt with us tomorrow night.
Oh, sounds intriguing, doesn't it, Kalechi?
Oh, I'm
Yes.
afraid, Kalechi, you know I respect you very, very much, but with your contraptions and whatnot, it wouldn't look well to go into the wood with us on our secret hunt. But you, Mr. Ward, you're invited. And anyway, Kelechi, I'm sure you want to go into my wife's bicycle race, some such. And he's barely even looking at you, Kelechi, but he's fascinated by Otto.
Kelechi does not mind. Yes, I actually would like to test out my motorbike in your wife's race. Does your wife know about this, or is that who we're keeping a secret from?
Yes, we're keeping it a secret from my wife. She doesn't like fox hunting. She's so sensitive. She's, So, Mr. Ward.
Yes, indeed. Actually, right before we came in here, Kelechi told me the most fabulous thing about a future investment in some of his creations, that maybe you could, this is maybe a perfect opportunity later tonight, because you say that the motorbike, or not the motorbike is what we are talking about.
Yes,
you say that we were going to be, of course, horses are indeed very, very fast, but Kelechi here claims that his creation can go 10 times as fast as a regular horse. Right, Kelechi?
10 times is a bit much. About maybe 2 or 3 times, yes.
Yeah.
It's actually much more money-wise. It doesn't take as much money to feed a horse. Well, it takes far more money to feed a horse than it would to fuel the motorbike. And actually, the motorbike is just a prototype. I'm actually going to be hopefully working on a 4-wheeled vehicle, which actually Samantha named it a car, like a carriage, but shortened, so car.
Yes.
So if there's something that you're interested in,
Yes, I'm. Yeah, of course, I'd love to invest in this. It sounds wonderful. I love technology, and you can tell he's not taking his eyes off you at all, Otto.
I was just thinking that, being gentlemen ourselves, why don't we have a gentleman's bet on whether or not the, horse, of course, is majestic, but, we are men of modern age. Wouldn't it be more, apt for us to be riding these faster contraptions in order to catch these creatures faster?
No.
I feel like we should.
That won't do. That won't do. I'm afraid that sort of mechanical things ruin the fox hunt. It's not sporting. If you like, you may make a social attack, which would be presence plus. I imagine you're trying to convince. Seems like parlay.
Yes, parlay. I'm trying to convince maybe we should include some motorbikes in the fox hunt.
If you do not,
can I help?
Yes. So if you don't mind, I'm going to have to deal you some cards.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. It's combat, isn't it?
Yes. I believe this is a moment when your wife walks in.
Oh.
At this moment, and PB, if you might get rid of those 2 cards you have in your hand, so I may deal you all some cards.
Yes.
If you might, I will deal you all some cards. Please discard your lowest. What is that stream doing there?
How do I? Oh wow! How do I get to my hand again? Oh dear.
You click on the. You click on.
Oh, I see.
Oh, now I'm gonna. You didn't get rid of those 2 cards yet.
I was sorry, trying to do that. Okay.
Yes. So you should all have 3 cards.
Oh my God. Yes.
I'm getting rid of my worst card, so I'm getting rid of it.
But
all right, that's
Which
done.
card do we get to keep?
You get to keep. You should be keeping 3 cards, and you
Holy shit! Are you ready for this?
No, don't tell me, dude.
What?
Oh my! Unbelievable!
Yes.
What?
Okay. Well, fuck.
Well then. So, I'm gonna just note that for the moment.
Sorry.
You have the
freak
fate.
out.
You have the fate
And then I
card,
have
which
two
means
zeros.
you get to go first. You walk in.
I
and
wasn't going to walk in, actually.
Well, you have to get the door open.
Oh, right. Okay. Then yes, I will walk in.
you walk in. You, my friend, get to go first in this social conflict.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
What is this game?
I'm sorry, can someone quickly remind me once again, how many cards are we getting rid of? And they're the worst ones we have?
Yes, but not Doom.
Okay.
You can't get rid of the Doom.
Okay.
If you have it, you can't get rid of it. Wait, do I have the Doom card? I should look. Okay, I don't. Just want to make sure, just in case. I'm going to need from, if you wish, and Murgles, I'll have you draw in a moment.
Okay.
You get to go first, dearest Tilly, because you have the Fate card. When you walk
I am
in.
not on the screen. I have walked in. I am here.
And as you walk in, because that is a Fate card, you can hear that Otto is trying to make a case that there should be motorbikes allowed in the fox hunt race.
Okay. Pardon me,
Oh, my
dearest
dearest.
husband.
Oh,
Yes. How may I help you?
How long has it been since I asked the maid to let the horses out?
It has been some time. The horses probably are already let go at this moment. And I will note that he is holding his walking cane.
Okay.
And, by the way, there's a man that's standing very close to Otto. Actually, both the Viscount and this other man are sitting very close to Otto, as if he's fascinating.
Okay. I'm so sorry to bother you, but there seems to be an issue. Perhaps we could speak in private.
Oh. He looks at you with suspicion in a way that does not seem like a loving husband's look. Let's just put it that way. He doesn't seem like a loving husband to you.
I would like to attack him with my weakened purpose because I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be a loving husband. And if he's given me a look that everybody else can see, then...
Yes, please do. Please do.
Okay. What should I roll?
I believe your weakened purpose is that presence plus... what is your weakened purpose?
Let me check. I'm so sorry. I literally have it.
Presence plus... It's probably guile.
Yep.
It is. No, it's presence plus mysteries.
Presence plus mysteries, and they do focus plus will. Okay.
Ooh, all right.
Do I get a bonus because I just rolled the fate card?
Oh, no, your fate card lets you come in and interrupt all of this. You interrupt everything from happening.
Everything just stops, all eyes on me. Okay. Cool.
Please draw.
Okay.
By the way, he is looking at a 5. Because I drew a -1.
So I have rolled a 2, and it is mysteries, which is now 4.
Presence?
That level up. And presence is 3.
Oh.
So
what is your total?
7, 8, 9.
Oh, versus his 5? Okay. That means you beat it by 4, which is a remarkable success. So you drain 2 points of his purpose as his ability to impact the universe becomes weakened.
Okay.
All of a sudden, he cannot avoid consequences or reroll as you just drain ether and purpose from him. He goes, well, dear you, so you want me to step outside?
Believe me, I don't want to be asking you, but I think it's important to us both. And now I'm trying to be kind of coy in that I know we don't like each other. I know this is a ruse.
And there are people in the room are watching this conversation. His fellow aristocrats are watching how you two interact. You married couple, because as far as they know, you're married, and they don't really know you very well, right? Because they also have not really seen you. So they're interested to see what this is about. 5s. Anyone have any 5s?
Ooh, do I want to use my 5 early off though? That's the question.
I do
I do
not.
have a 5.
I think this is specifically for. Oh yeah, that's a good
A little
point.
bit of convincing.
Oh my god, the heartbeat.
All right, so I will go ahead and use my 5.
Get rid of that 5. As you were saying, you were trying to convince him, right, to allow.
Step. Yeah.
Well, of course, the happy madame. It's so pleasant to make your acquaintance. I just, as you are, you, of course, I do not. We should not interrupt such a loving moment. If there's some error in the family, I'm sure we can all wait for you, sir.
Give me your presence plus parlay. You seem to be very polite.
Yes, presence plus parlay. All right,
Unless
presence
you're
plus parlay.
lying and being deceptive, in which case you could do guile. It's up to you.
No, present and parlay would actually be the best. So I'm going to tell you off the bat. I have a 8 off the bat.
Yeah. He's got a 5.
All right. So do I have to pull a card just to do this? All right.
Because
so
there's a
I
minus.
will go
There are
ahead-
minus 5s in there, so you know.
Yeah, I already have -2. So
Yeah.
so that's -2, -8. That's still 6. So
He sort of sits there and he goes, well. And you just urge him closer to leaving. He goes, well, perhaps.
yeah, any loving husband also puts his wife first.
And slowly, you can see him weakening his resolve. Oh, well, perhaps. Merge, are you outside?
Yes.
All right. You are waiting in an ambush. 4s.
No. +4s, you mean?
Yeah, +4s. He will use his 4. And he looks to his wife. And he says, darling, I would be happy to step outside to talk about whatever business is between us. If, and he smiles, you would return to me the small token that I left. I believe it was my cufflinks you have of mine. I would do anything for you if you would return those to me.
Those were for later.
I would like them now, if you don't mind. Oh, that's a 5. Will plus to resist, because he is he is trying to convince you to give him something important that belongs to him. Will plus composure.
Okay. This is so intense.
And I'm going to say this. He wants those cufflinks, and he's doing a social attack to get them from you.
Okay. Oh, he's about to get fucked. Okay, so I rolled a 3.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm about to kick his butt here.
Yeah.
My will is 4, and my composure is, where is it? 3. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I just spanked him.
Yeah. He's trying to convince you very hard, while looking sort of subtle, to give you some cufflinks of his.
Yeah.
And he's expelling quite a lot of energy to do so. 4s, 3s.
I just kind of smirk a little bit. You should know better.
Kalechi. What's your highest?
2.
2?
Yeah, I'll put that down. I think Kalechi. Viscount, it's fine. You really shouldn't keep your lady waiting. We're all gonna be here, and he's gonna turn to the rest of the group and say, "We're all going to wait for him, right?" they're a married couple. They should be able to have their alone time when they need to.
Can you give me your presence plus parlay or guile if you're lying, temptation if you want to make an offer to tempt?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be like, you just speak to your lady, and I promise you, we won't start the betting. In fact, I hope you don't mind, Mr. Wood, but I'll let you put the first bet for the investment in my next contraption I'm going to be creating, and that's going to be me using temptation.
Yeah. Huh.
And is that presence and temptation, right?
It is indeed 5.
Okay, perfect.
And he's sort of like, there's clearly some very long-standing thing going on between him and his wife, Tilly, that you're not quite sure what it is, but there's clearly a thing.
I have an idea. Now that I know Mom is trapped, I feel like he has something of hers, and she has something of his.
A total
apparently.
of 7.
Yeah.
It's a total of 7.
And he goes, make it that I get first investment in this new carriage of yours, your motorized carriage, and it's on.
Of course.
Sorry about that, Mr. Ward. I'm afraid I've beat you again. And he looks at your suit, Otto, for something. And he puts out his hand to shake it. And then he looks at your cufflinks. When you shake his hand, he looks at your cufflinks. Doesn't see anything there. Lets them go. And he goes, Good to meet you. And he says, dear, and he puts out his elbow for you, Tilly.
I return and lean to guide him out of the room. It'll only be a moment. I'm so sorry for the interruption.
And he will go with you with those, with that convince. And he steps outside with Otto and Kalechi still in this smoking room, and the rest of the people are not really quite certain what that was, but there are some guests, and the man, Addy, sort of who sniffed you, and he goes, it's good to see someone of such good breeding, he says, with a nod to Otto. It's a pleasure to meet you. We are a fan. And Murgles, you'll notice that when he steps outside with his wife, he keeps his cane with him.
Okay.
Just so you know, as he's sort of stepping outside, you can see both of them come into the hallway. It's just him and Tilly by themselves, and he is carrying the walking cane with this bright ruby lodged in the jaws.
I turn him kind of like out of the doorway, or I close the door, and I turn him to where I know Nell is going to be positioned so that maybe she has a better shot. And I'm going to try to get him angry.
Goes, now, what is this all about?
What is this I hear about horses?
What about the horses?
I think you know.
Dear, you can have your little whatever it is that you want.
Don't call me that. No one else is around. You don't have to call me that.
Well then, Mab, I'm going to have my hunt and you can't stop me. You can put on this charade with whatever you're doing to sort of try to... Well, the hunt's on. You with your friends and your rabble, whatever you've got, you can have whatever strange thing you have, but I'm having my hunt, and you cannot have the green gazebo. I don't care what you told them. The green gazebo's mine.
I just realized something. My attack needs to be against what he wants, and like his... So if I were to just like kiss him right now, it would be the worst thing that he... Right? Okay, I will do that. I will do that thing that I said I would not do.
Oh my
Nell,
God. Yes.
your pal,
Yeah.
best pal, leans in to kiss this fellow.
Oh my goodness.
Could you please make your presence temptation,
Oh.
Tilly?
Okay. Oh no.
Oh no.
Let's see how this goes. And if you all could, you all can discard your cards if you like, because we have that particular moment is gone. What is your total?
9.
9. Let me get mine.
Buzz is in the chat, y'all.
6.
Oh.
6. You kiss him, and he does not kiss you back at first. At first, he is shocked. Right? He is shocked. This is not what he expected.
Of course not. That's Tilly, though. That is Tilly.
And he doesn't like you, and you don't like him. So he does not know why you're kissing him. But then you are kissing him. And, like, you can see him being somewhat taken aback, but he gives in to your temptation. It's like 2 beats too long, but he does. And he slides his arm around your waist, and he kisses you back. Do you continue to kiss him?
Yes. Can I like... So he puts an arm behind me, but he's still got his other hand on the thing,
does.
right?
He
Okay.
does.
Yep. Then I'm gonna put my arms up behind his neck and try to kind of like get him to embrace me.
I'm horrified.
I am also horrified, but you need
I'm
an
trying
opening.
not to make any noises because I'm horrified.
I need from you one more presence temptation,
Okay.
because he knows what you want, and he
Yes.
doesn't. He wants to make sure you don't get it.
No, actually, I just have to say he knows what mom wants. I'm
Yes.
not mom.
No.
So
but that's he's thinking of you as mom.
okay.
Yep. I need one more.
But I just mean I don't think he would know what my affinity
No.
is.
No, he doesn't. But he has.
Okay.
I wonder how Nell feels about this too.
Oh boy. So that is presence and guile, right? Or no, temptation.
Temptation.
So that is a 5.
He kisses you back with sort of slightly confused passion. And he takes the cane and he raps on the door as he sort of pulls back a little bit. Kalechi and Otto, you're the closest to the door because you're the last ones to come in. You hear a rapping on the door. Do you open it?
Go.
Sorry.
Do you
I'm
open the
going
door?
to try. And does it look like anyone else heard it?
Oh, everybody heard it because he rapped on the door with his
Damn
with
it.
his walking stick. It was
Pretty loud, right? Yeah, I'll open it.
And he has his walking stick in his hand. And he goes, Natty, take this, will you? And he sort of holds out the walking stick. Natty's on the other side of the room. It's him, you two, the crowd of fellows, including his son Natty. And Natty steps up and starts to walk towards the doorway
Oh, okay.
to take the cane.
Okay. Yes.
But you two are right where he's at, and Natty is on the other side of the room, and he's just holding out his cane to be taken by his son.
I'm right here, and I will reach and grab it because I'm just like, oh, I'm right here. I'll just hand it off to your.
And he goes, "Oh, good," and he hands it he pauses, and he says, "You, all right, hand this to my son." And he hands you this cane with the door open, and he begins to lead Tilly away.
I sneak through the open door before it closes so that no one, so that there's no awkward door opening or closing.
Yep.
And I would like to rush and kind of put my hand on Otto and sort of put a little pressure on Otto's arm to like give Otto the impression to kind of like conceal his body around the cane as he turns, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna grab Otto and kind of hold Otto back, and then I'm gonna try and take the jewel.
And as this is happening, Natty is crossing the room towards Otto.
Yeah, I'm fast.
Nathaniel, and Kalechi's gonna walk up to Nathaniel. I haven't seen you in such a long time. How are you doing? I remember when you were like probably this tall, and you're still peeing the bed. Is that still a thing?
Well, of course I don't pee the bed anymore, old chap. And as he's trying to sort of get towards, I'm going to need that grace and burglary.
Yes.
I'm going to need 2 rolls from you. Grace and stealth and grace and burglary.
Does she get a bonus at all for
And Kalechi, I need you. I need you to roll presence. Ooh, plus, I would say temptation if you want to tempt him, our Natty, the room. Otherwise, it would be parlay.
Okay, so I first can I
Put it on the green. Put it on the green.
put it on the green? Okay, hold on. Okay, so number 1, I rolled a 3, and my grace and my stealth are 6.
Okay, so that's
I got
a 9?
a 9.
Okay.
It's a 9.
Okay.
And then this will be for my burglary. Another 3.
Okay.
And my burglary is 4 and my grace is 3, so that is a 10.
Okay. I'm gonna need presence, and depends on how you're going about trying to distract our Natty. If it's parlay, or if you want to tempt him.
It really doesn't matter.
I
My
need to know.
luck has run out. -5, and that's a total of 1. I'd use temptation, but that's a total
Okay.
of 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, I'd probably be tempting with. I remember the last time I saw you really interested in the one of the things I'd made. It was kind of like a remote controlling, like trying
Yes,
to
I'm
put those
sure,
through his
I'm
pockets
sure.
through.
As he pushes you aside and starts moving towards Otto. Otto, I need you to draw. I need you to draw
Oh, this
Grace.
is so intense.
and athletics.
Grace and athletics. Okay.
Yes.
You do,
This is going to be...
oh,
Wait, can I use an ether to reroll? Can I use an ether
Yes,
to
you
reroll?
can. Yes,
I just
you
remember
can.
I could do that.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
gosh.
You
can
can
do that.
spend an
Oh my
ether
God,
to
I also
redraw.
remembered I
Yes,
could
you
do
can.
that.
Because
Oh
you
my
have
Okay,
you have a lot of ether because you're a person of chaos. Please
that's still
redraw.
not great, but that's a 4 in total.
4 in total.
Oh my gosh.
Our Natty is not the most willful. And he puts his hand on your shoulder to push you aside, and he goes, remote control?
Yes, remember I made that. You really enjoyed that the wooden Nutcracker figurine.
Yeah,
So I thought I could improve that, and I think I actually brought it with me. I was hoping to give it to you in person, and he's gonna like ruffle through his satchel and his pockets for.
Can I get that? What is that Grace Athletics from you, Otto?
okay. I was like, I don't have to.
Oh,
do
no,
it
you
now.
do, for something slightly different.
Oh no.
What'd you get?
Okay. Hold on, I have to look at it. Okay. Whew. I got a 2, and I do have no athletics, but I have 2 grace, so that's a 4. Woo.
Okay. Nell,
Yes.
I want you to tell me how you get this gem that is pried
Yes.
into the jaws of this wolf head.
Yeah.
And once you get it out, you need to stop the description.
I quickly pull out a small metal tool that I carry with me everywhere I go. It is thick, but it has a flat edge, almost like a screwdriver. with like a little curve at the end, and I put it into the corner, and it, with a very quick tap, it comes out, and I grab it.
Pause. Otto, that was your grace athletics was not high enough. The jewel grazes your skin. Yes.
Oh no! Oh wait. Oh.
Yes, if you spin that point of ether.
Let me try spinning this point
You
of
need
ether.
to get a 3. If you get a 3, that will be enough because you missed it by 1.
Oh my god.
Okay, hold on. Just give me
If
a
you
second.
roll a 3,
If I roll a 3.
if you draw a 3 or higher, it does not grace your skin.
Oh my god.
Okay, so let's just say that we go with the first card because
Oh no. Do you have
No.
another point of ether?
no.
You have to go with the new one.
Okay.
Oh my god, can I give
Wait, how many
can I
points of
give
ether
a
can you
point of
use? Is
ether?
that once in a...
This is ether I could use.
Oh,
So,
Earlier.
I need you to make another draw. As this gem grazes your skin. Nell,
No.
Yeah.
you get the gem. Tell me where it goes.
I quickly stash it in a pocket that I wear beneath my skirt, and it's like an inside pocket between my like a lining in my pants that is lined quite thick so that it doesn't create any bulges or anything. Like the bulging would be on the inside essentially, so that no one would see it through the skirt.
And you do. The gem, when you touch it, it's warm. And you can feel a heartbeat in this gem as you spirit it away. But the gem does touch Otto's skin. Otto, I need from you will plus, I would say,
Oh God.
guile.
Oh, okay. Will and guile. So that's
Or
so I
composure.
got-
One of those two.
no. I got it. So will and guile. So that's a 6 plus 1, 7.
Take a wound. Take a wound.
Okay.
As this,
Where's the boo boo track?
that's
Oh, there you go.
bottom, yeah.
There
Take
you
a
go.
wound.
I got it.
As this gem grazes your skin, you smell burning flesh. As the gem, where it touches you, probably right by your wrist, it burns and digs. It cauterizes the wound so that it does not bleed. That draw, the composure versus guile, was to make sure that nobody saw the pain. So that nobody saw your reaction. So that you could, what's the word? Hold it. But everyone in the room right now, that is Nell, that is Kalechi, that's all the rest of the group. In a split second, there's a shimmer as the gem touches Otto. And Otto looks just like Buttercup. Just like Buttercup. A little different, but they look the same. Otto, for a moment, a brief moment, is a young woman. Well, maybe not so young, actually. Otto's a young man, but same age. 27 is much older on a woman than it is on a man. Is just is a woman for a moment, a changeling woman. For a few moments, Otto, what do you do?
Well, did they see me wince though?
No, because
Or-
that was your guile. You were able to hide the wince, so nobody realizes that, that gem that no one can touch has been removed because you do not call attention to it because you're able to hold in.
I just kind of, I just kind of like, cross over my hand a little bit just to hide whatever, maybe like I first go into a pocket and then just like kind of, let me, polish this bit and,
Kalechi and Nell, Otto is a woman right now. Drac, you're muted! You're muted!
My bad. Sorry, I was gonna say like Kalechi's actually on the way to intercept Nathaniel,
Yes.
so everything.
Yes.
So Wood's behind him, so he
Yes.
doesn't actually see this happening.
Yeah, you don't see it. You don't see it. But Natty's there sort of being distracted. Natty doesn't see it. Other people in the room might. Let's draw. Unless somebody wants to do something.
I wouldn't notice this because I'm too distracted by...
Yeah.
Why don't we draw? I'm going to go and see whether or not they notice, unless somebody who's in that room wants to do something to distract them. I'm going to draw right about now. I get a 1.
I mean, you know what?
Sorry, I would distract,
No.
but I'm literally invisible. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything?
Can I
I
accidentally
will.
distract?
Can I see this?
Yes,
so
you
I see
can.
this, right?
You
and
see
I'm
that
invisible.
Otto is a woman at this moment.
I see that Otto is a woman. Okay.
Or looks like a
I
woman.
am going to. I have the gem. I'm still
Mm-hmm.
invisible. I am going to quickly tear through the room like a gust of wind and throw every lamp over on the other side of the room. So I'm going to just run and then just like smash, like arm out and then just let it drag across whatever happens to be there.
God, this is so intense.
I need you to draw.
Okay.
I need you to draw. Grace. Plus, let's see, could be athletics.
Okay.
For causing a huge ruckus.
Okay.
Give it to me.
Okay,
Ooh.
a -4.
What you got?
So my grace is 3, my
Mm-hmm.
athletics is 2.
I'm at a 4.
I'm at a 1. So
Do you want to redraw with your ether?
yes, I absolutely do.
Please do. You need to beat a 4. If you beat a 4,
Okay,
they will be
I'm a
distracted and
4.
will not see.
I'm a
Got
4.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You tear through this room. Kalechi, you see lamps being pushed over, the humidor falling. You see curtains rustling. The entire room is shuddering. And the people in the room are about to look at Otto as Otto shimmers and changes shape. But just as that shimmer happens, everything goes mad in the room, and they look, and one of them goes, Is this the Pontus? Is this the Pontus? Is it a Pontus?
Yes, it is. It's the Pontus, and the Pontus event. We should all
Give me
duck down
presence,
under a table.
presence guile. Presence guile.
Oh my god.
Oh boy, Kalechi, like
this
all of your
works,
horrible
man.
influence on Kalechi. He's
Give
not
me
good at
presence
lying.
Holy cow.
Okay.
Give it to me.
Okay.
I need it.
Okay.
What you
Presence
got?
Guile. It's not great. I don't think it's very good. Presence
pretty
is a
good presence.
3.
Yep.
Guile. Guile's a 0.
So that's
the
a 2.
-1's a 2. I
that
have
is-
ether still.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yep. Do
redraw
it.
and just
Do
hope
it.
for better.
Oh
Yep.
no. Oh.
0 is just a 3.
That's what you needed. You needed a 3
Oh
because
my gosh.
because it
Oh
wasn't
my gosh.
it wasn't difficult to convince them, but you needed a 3. So as you say that it's a Ponce event and they already respect you, because they know that you're an expert of the Pontus because of what happened earlier. And they're like, oh, and so they dive under the tables, right? They dive under the tables and they sort of cover their heads because they're not quite certain what's happening, because apparently there's like Pontus event that's happening right now, and they all get under the table and they're like, ooh, I hope it'll be all right. Ooh. And what do you do?
I think at this point, I'm probably like turning around and I see the Otto who now looks like Buttercup, and then everything clicks like, oh, okay, I understand what's going on now.
Slightly different than Buttercup, just slightly. Not exactly the same.
I'm gonna try and just grab Otto's hand, just run out of the smoking area as fast as I can.
Nell, do you go with?
Yeah, I'm booking out of here. If I see them going, I'm following shortly behind. Yeah, but I'm going to just continue smashing things and then smash the door behind us.
If Kalichi's grabbing me, I'll just be like, something's grabbing the rod, and I toss it away from me.
Oh. And Natty's like, we've got to get where do you toss it? Outside or inside of the room? Into the smoking room or outside of the smoking room?
There's windows, right?
Yes. Yeah. There are.
Window.
Fucking break a window.
Grace.
like,
Grace Athletics.
Oh
Grace
my gosh.
Athletics. Otto. Grace
Oh
Athletics.
my lord.
Reflex and what?
Grace Athletics.
Grace Athletics. Oh, jeez.
Yep.
All right, let me see what I get.
This is our
Yeah, well, I mean, I toss it, but it doesn't really. It's a negative one. I'm very frail.
Oh.
You toss it, it doesn't break the window, but it smashes against this window and falls to the ground in the midst of this chaos. And you're being pulled out, the door slams, and you hear Natty say, quick, we need the walking stick. No, there's a Pontus event. Stay down. And you can hear this sort of chaos in this room. As you three are outside, Nell, Otto, Kalechi, and Kalechi, Nell, Otto looks sort of like Buttercup.
Okay.
What was
Otto.
that all?
You should be.
What?
You look like you should be in Sweden, and he's gonna try and drag into like the nearest door and just like shut it behind.
As he pulls you, because there are so many rooms. As he pulls you into a room, you catch a mirror and you catch yourself in your clothes. But Otto, you don't look like Otto. And you,
The glamour. Where's the glamour?
your glamour has been disrupted by touching the gem.
What? It was glamour?
You'll need to reapply your glamour. Nell, Kalechi, you hear it. You hear this conversation. You hear what Otto said.
Otto, do you need anything?
This voice.
Just don't.
Kalechi, turn around. Turn around.
Is this a simulated? Okay.
Yes. No one can know. You didn't see this.
You have to know this will ruin my business. They
I know,
can't
Otto. Don't worry. No one will know. We got you out in time.
I just need to go to my bedroom really quick.
We'll get you there.
They can't know. They won't do business with a woman. You know that.
I know. Don't worry. We'll get you sorted. We always did.
Can I turn around?
Otto, do you need to go back to your room to do the glamour? Can you do it here?
I don't have the stuff. I can't do that. My stuff doesn't work with that. I had to hire somebody to make these. It's in the powder's in my room.
Maybe if we can get to Tilly could do it for you. We can trust Tilly. Tilly wouldn't tell anyone.
All right. We'll take care of this.
All right.
Thank you.
And as you move to find your way to a space where the glamour can be reapplied that hid the identity that Otto has. Tilly, the Viscount leads you up the stairs. And he goes, well, I didn't think this would happen, but I have to say, I could imagine that the Queen of Fae would fall in love with me.
I just can't seem to help myself. Can I cast a spell, please?
You may.
I would like to... I don't know if I'm able to do exactly what I would like to try to do, but I would like to...
It might take a long time.
Okay, I would like to cast an illusion of me coming in to kiss him again, to distract him enough for me to leave discreetly.
Please do.
Okay. Which is, I'm sorry, my heart rate is super elevated from that last scene. What am I rolling again, or drawing?
This is your presence guile.
Okay. Yes. Okay, presence guile is, so I drew a 3 for those listening, and my presence is 3 and my guile is 4.
I drew a -3.
Oh!
Not good enough for our Viscount. And
Okay.
you lean in to kiss him.
It just to clarify, it's not like the last one. It's got to be mega distracting. So it's
Yes.
very like, I just can't help myself. She's
But-
going in for a tongue kiss.
Can't touch him, though.
Oh, shit.
Your phantasm can't touch him.
Oh, well, if I know that, then can I change that she doesn't go in for a kiss? If I know that they can't
Well,
touch,
she could
Tilly
go
would
in.
know that. Well, Tilly would know
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
can't touch. So instead, I'd like the illusion to walk up the stairs and like look behind and be like, are you coming? You know, that kind of...
Come hither, look. And
And perhaps like undoing a lace on the dress or something like super
or like
scandalous.
on your cuff of your glove, perhaps. Well, and
Use your imagination.
I'm going to tell you the most scandalous thing: glove button undone. I know. I can't.
Okay.
That's too much. I know.
Then that's what
just
she does.
A little button on the glove comes undone, and he goes, "Oh, wow."
Look at my wrists.
Oh no!
Oh God!
There's a wrist. And he waggles his eyebrows with the most amount of arrogance that he has made the Queen of Fae fall in love with him. And he goes up the stairs to follow you. And that is where we're going to end the episode.
Oh my god. I would just like everyone to know real quick that I'm invisible, y'all.
I love that. That's so cool.
Y'all, thank you
I
Wow.
can't figure out how you did that. I think
know,
that was
it's
under your desk, like typed, like.
And I was like, but your audio's so good. Like,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It was so good.
Thank you for sticking with us. The gem, the beating heart of the Queen of the Fae has been attained, and it does not seem as if, well, there's a plausible explanation, right? The cane's in the room, there's a Ponce event, there was some madness, there was some violence. You are probably, and the Viscount is going to be distracted for a bit. And so, I'd like us all to give us our outros. Thank you, audience, for being here. Thank you for going, but we have to go. So, I'd like to do our round. Let's have each person introduce themselves, say where we can find you next, who you are, and then just say, how do you think the Viscount's good? No. How are you feeling in character at this
okay.
moment?
Okay.
Is what I want to know.
Oof.
Yeah, let's start with Lover Gal, Tilly, PB, who are you? Where can we find you? How are
Hi.
you feeling at this moment?
Okay, y'all know who I am and where to find me. I don't care about shoutouts right now. That was the fucking coolest thing.
Oh, and give love to somebody.
Oh my
Yeah.
Give love to
god.
somebody.
I will give love to us all for that crazy scene. Like, it depended on everyone. Everyone
Yeah.
had a clutch moment. Everybody did a re-roll. It was wild. I was at a 10. I was like, holy crap. I had energy that I didn't know what to do with, so all I could do was just be like, oh, it was so good. Okay, so love to everybody first. Tilly, however, is feeling, that was her first kiss. And that sucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Tilly!
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
gave her the biggest hug.
Yeah. But you know what? It was for a good cause. And so she's just really hoping. I think actually if we were able to see Tilly right now as he's going up the stairs, we would probably see her taking a moment at the stairs to like breathe and be like,
Yeah.
that was very intense and I hate this man more than anything. And I really hope they got the gem. It's for my mom, right? So whatever. And also there's just a little tidbit of like, of course he's arrogant enough to think that like the queen would fall in love with him. He's awful.
He's a mortal.
Yeah, he's terrible. So there's a little bit of that as well. And I think she wants to maybe, like, I think she's also feeling a little bit embarrassed because Nell saw that and she's gonna have to, so she probably dusts off her dress and straightens it out a little bit and is not really feeling like a lady, but then does she ever, and walks down the stairs.
Mr. Giggles, Murgles.
Yes.
The invisible man.
The invisible.
The invisible. The invisible man.
So for those listening to the podcast version, I just want to explain that Murgles has like her cam is a screen. I think it's a screenshot of her seat, but without her in it. So
It's
she was
amazing.
able to still have the mic on, but it just looked like she was invisible. It was
It's
awesome.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So where can we find you? Give some love. And what is Nell thinking right now?
Yeah, so same thing. You can find me on Twitch, Murgles. Thank you so much. Love to everyone. Same, like the clutchness and the good decisions and like everyone just getting it. Like so good. So
Yeah,
good.
like, it's a Pontus event, you know.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
so
Get under the
good.
table. Like of all the things for Kalechi to like,
I know,
lie
Kalechi could've-
about a Pontus event, and he did it in the moment when we needed him the most. He did it.
And,
I know.
Yeah.
Clutchy clutch.
Yeah. yeah.
That's
three
what
fake
hashtag good in
cards.
chat. That was great.
Three fake cards in one session.
Holy shit.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So yeah, that was incredible. As for what Nell is thinking right now, first of all, she's just very happy that she doesn't have to reassess her ability at her job. You know, it's just every job she takes is a challenge to her skill, and so she's feeling very good about it right now. She's very concerned about Otto because of what's going on with Otto. So she feels very much for Otto, and she is a bit concerned. And she's also incredibly impressed with Tilly and Tilly's resourcefulness.
You're impressed?
Yes.
Tilly's gonna cry.
And did you give love?
Yeah, to everyone.
Perfect.
I mean, yeah, if that's okay. I mean,
Yes,
I feel
absolutely.
love for everyone. Everyone killed it.
Yeah.
Which is a great song by Donna Summer.
That reveal for Otto, and just
Oh
saying,
my
like,
God,
it will
I know.
ruin my business. Like everything I
No,
worked
no.
for, they won't work with a woman. Like I just,
Murdered. Yeah, I would say like that moment
I will
with
glamour
Otto.
the shit out of you. Sorry. If I know, if you tell me, I will do that.
Tilly
thing.
making that choice to like actually make out with the Viscount, which I think is literally the only thing that would have worked, to be honest, like based on those roles and how difficult those roles ended up being.
So, in that moment, it was crazy because I was like, my plan, PB's plan, was to tell him maybe about the horses and rub it in his face. And then I went, Tilly wouldn't do that. Tilly would do the absolute least expected thing and something that he would hate the most when he found out the truth. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, totally we're going to make out with him. And then when it's like, haha, that was
he's-
all a lie also, by the way, and your penis is small. Like, it would be, you know, like, that's just what she's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah,
Drac.
totally.
Drac, where can
Yes,
we find you?
I'm-
Give some love. What is Clutchy thinking right now?
I'm Draconics with Drac for short. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQUES. I stream all over the place. I don't really stream my personal channel, but if you want to find out where I'm streaming, just follow me on Twitter. I'll probably tweet about it. What is Clutchy feeling right now? I think he's feeling. I think two moods he's feeling right now. Honestly, everything that happened in the smoking area was weird, but like I think it almost immediately left his mind. The thing he's really hung up about is one, that Tilly seems to have feelings for him, and he's trying to understand how to process that. And two, he just lied about a Pontus event, and he's not happy about that. That feels awful to him. Like, but he saw like this was a big deal. They had to get through this, and saw how much Tilly had sacrificed. Obviously didn't see the kiss, but saw that Tilly went off somewhere with the Viscount, so it's like, I guess I have to sacrifice something too. I'm gonna lie about my last work, and kind of like dive into that.
Oh my god.
Oh, and love.
And love everybody, 100% just everyone. I love that, and the reveal as well, and fucking Nell's been in on it. Like, yes, I know this. Let's just keep moving. Well, she's like, oh, wow, okay, cool.
Best friends, and of course the person of honor, Bonsai. If you would, where can we find you? And give some love. And how is Otto feeling right now?
So first, love again. Teamwork makes the dream work. Oh my god, we did it!
Amazing
so
teamwork.
much.
Amazing.
I was hyperventilating. I was like, oh my god, my heart. It was a lot of, and also I believe chat wanted us to know about Kletchy.
Yes.
Kletchin.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I'm here, Bonsai Baby. You could see me on Twitch. I'm just, making noise around the place. So Otto is very exposed. Very exposed. This is something that my character was kind of built on this arc. I don't know if anybody notices all the times I referenced how manly and Otto is. And so right now I'm very exposed, and I hope nobody touched my tinctures, my glamour spells, so I can get back into. Yeah.
Hey, chat, in case you want to know, the reason why the Fae kept seeing Otto as Buttercup is because they're twins, and the Fae can see through the glamour. The Queen of the Fae can see through glamour, and so the Queen of the Fae was like, "Well, you just thought that was Buttercup because they're twins, and did not."
Yeah.
Yep. So, my friends, I'm Trooper SJP. I'm your GM. I want to thank you all for
so much sense.
Yep. The Fae are like, "Oh, that's Buttercup," because they look the same. Because they see through the glamour. I'm your GM. I want to thank you all for being here a little bit extra long. I wanted to get to that moment, and we have 2 episodes left, everybody. That's it. We gotta go. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. I want to give my love to the entire cast who've all been amazing. There are going to be some things happening in the future, I think, and we're rocketing to the end, my friends. I'll see you. Thank you for everybody who's here.
Where can people find you?
Me? Oh gosh. Yeah, you can find me. I'm Trooper SJP. You can find me on Twitch at Trooper SJP, and you can find me. What am I doing next? Next Thursday will be me playing The Long Dark, which I like to call the hoarding simulator, where all I do is carry lots of things, and then the character I'm controlling complains about it. And then breaks his ankle, whatever. He's a whiner. And then, of course, next week back here. And thank you, everybody. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you all in the Discord, the Table Story Discord, where people can top up their feelings, and I will be there for it. Or on the YouTube chats. And everybody here is supporting. Thank you very much. And we will see you next week.
And don't forget, the new show Ungodly starts next Sunday.
Sunday.
3 p.m. Eastern.
Goodbye. Thank you, Whack.